goodness. Both of us did. I didn't even tell Jennifer about mine yet, but we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it in the first break.
That's right.
Okay, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jenna Blackard.
And I'm Leonka Reyna.
And this is the Haut Hustle Mystic Morning Show. Today we're talking with Miriam Katz, and we have had her on the show a few times, and she's just precisely accurate in her shamanistic ways.
That's right. She's very amazing. A few words about Miriam Katz. Miriam is a practicing mystic who works with the divine essence of those she serves to open pathways of soul remembrance and transformation. As a co-founder of the School of Hebrew Shamanism and the Goddess Grail Mystery School, she works as a modern-day priestess, guiding seekers, mystics, and healers into alignment with their highest truth and sacred purpose. As a shamanistic healer and technician of the soul, Miriam works with your inner dwelling divinity to solve soul loss, karmic and ancestral patterns, traumatic emotional imprints, cellular memories, limiting beliefs, and vows that inhibit the full expression of soul power. As intuitive, she accesses the Akashic records to reveal each client's most relevant soul challenges and gifts, dissolving blocks to release their innate wisdom and divine capacities. Welcome, Miriam. Exciting.
Wow, I hadn't really heard the official before.
I love doing the official. I do. I think there's so much that each person brings to what we can experience. And Miriam, you are definitely no exception for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Yay.
Thank you. It's fun to be here again.
It's so interesting how some people come and they are clear and precise, but it seems that it's very far out, right? It's a little bit esoteric. And you come in and you bring this gift, and it is just spot on exactly what the person needs to hear. That's from what some of the people who've just raised their hand on our call, it's felt like.
So are you open to taking questions today as well?
Yes.
I am, absolutely.
Yay, very exciting.
I wanted to start with a question, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Well, for those of you here that don't know her, I'm going to let her give you just a minute to tell us about that journey to tuning in your gifts and kind of take us on the backstory.
Yeah, it's a good one. I feel like a lot of what needs to happen for contemporary mystics or for those who are tuning into non-ordinary realms is the unraveling of all of the stories and the ways that we've tied ourselves up in knots so as to pass for normal. Not that there is a normal, and the standards are rapidly shifting. But for me, I had gifts when I was young, as all of us do, and I was taught pretty quickly, it's all in your imagination. And one of the gifts of parenthood is that, when you have children, you get to hear and witness how your parents, interact with those children. And hearing this phrase, it's all in your imagination, was a revelation for me because I had forgotten about that kind of training that I received. But in the shamanic world and in non-ordinary reality, the imagination is the doorway to understanding the underpinnings of this world, because we are imagining this world into form. And so
Yes.
harnessing our imagination is the act of undoing, that which has been bound, those gifts that we all have.
Wow, that was beautifully stated. That was, yeah, okay. And one of the things I was talking to even my husband about was how we actually create the world through our imagination, if you will, and how as a collective we have anchored in some of these beliefs as like you said, it's all in your imagination. I mean, those were one of those belief systems that we've almost all accepted, right? And then we pass that down to our children, and it permeates, and then it becomes this ideology, right? And some things are accepted as faith and true, but then other things, as if you were let's say you had an imaginary friend, which I did. And and I would try to talk about it. And I
Mm.
finally just stopped, but because it was, my own experience. But to have my family say, it's all in your head, it's all in your imagination. And then worse, back then, there were times where they would, take their kids and actually ship them off and have psychiatric,
Mhm.
ways to shut that down.
Like if they were convicted, no, this imaginary friend is really real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which, if it was an energy or an entity or a spirit, would it or would it not be real?
Or
Wow,
worse,
this
be
has become a deep
prosecuted. Yeah, or
conversation.
worse, be persecuted for being a witch, right? Salem witch trials, stuff like that. So there, we hold this anchor as a collective of certain things, and we don't even know that we do sometimes. We don't remember until maybe we were even having a conversation like you just stated right now.
Right.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
One question opens the entire world.
Right? What made you know that the shamanistic path was for you and that this world of imagination and this whole different way of viewing things and creating was for you? And how did you know it was kind of the way, if you will,
Yeah.
the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I came across some books. I would always go to the spiritual section, and Lynn V. Andrews was a woman who wrote a series of books about her experience apprenticing to indigenous healers, shamanic practitioners, crones, those who have the power of elders I think they were in Canada. And I found her books really captivating, but it wasn't just that they were captivating, it was that they were remembering the magical underpinnings of reality into my conscious experience. Because there's the other piece that happens in childhood is we're tapped into magic, we're tapped into wonder and innocence, and these are the felt senses through which the animate world thrives. Animate world being the realm of mystery, of wonder, of everything having a spirit, everything having consciousness. So when we start to when we tap into that in childhood, we're tapping into what's really there. And as we're educated out of it, we're educated out of the magic and wonder. And so as adults, as we start reclaiming that which has been hidden from us,
Yeah.
it's moving into that childlike state. So Lynn V. Andrews was the woman who opened that up for me.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that I am learning from you, should I say, from the various interviews is it seems that the way your energy works is you look through their veils, right? You look through their walls, you look through their constructs, or veils might not have been the right word. Is that the process as you see it? Or is there something you can say about that? I felt called to mention that and share that with the audience.
Yeah. When I am working shamanically, what I'm focusing in on is the essence of what's there. And the imaginal senses help us to cut through the veils, the fog, the overlays that are there. And so intention is the primary tool of the healer, and intention directs energy. And so when I hold the intention of connecting in with the essence of whatever it is, we can go to the root cause of any unwellness or any kind of ways of being in the world, ways of understanding oneself in the world that are getting in the way of connecting to that essential energy. And I'm also not only working with the essence of my client, but I'm also working with the essential energies that are partners in the unraveling of these false stories. Because that's when we're trapped in a false story. That's what needs to be unraveled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did y'all hear that,
Oh.
y'all? She said, when we're trapped in a false story that needs to be unraveled. I just felt like we should
Yeah.
write that down
Okay, that's
in our
like a
journals.
huge quote.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, that's beautifully said.
Mm-hmm.
Do you sometimes feel like when you come on these calls that you are the channel already?
Yeah,
Or are you always in that state?
I'm not always in that state. I have day world, and so I go about my mom duties and all the things that I have to do. But when I come into this office, this is my sacred space, and
Okay.
so I call in sacred space to
Yeah.
enhance that, and then I open up to my higher self. And all of the energies that are going to move through me so that I can be in that expanded state of consciousness.
Wow, I
Beautiful.
love that.
I love how you said that.
One of the things that we wanted to, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you had brought to us for this particular show. But one of the things that we think is really important on this particular summit is really how do we take some of these bigger ideas and bring them into our everyday, we can use them, what practical ways. And so when you stop, I wanted to stop you right there. When you have that sacred space, is that something that you would recommend, or can you talk a little bit about how you would recommend that for other people? To maybe create a space in your home or to have a place where you can just bring in those that support you.
Yeah, I think ritual and using what works is really important. I think having a space where you can go is valuable. I also recognize it's a sign of privilege, and not everyone has that, space in their home that they can allocate specifically to this. And so it can be a sacred time. It can be stepping
I like that.
outside. It may be having a sit spot in nature, weather allowing. But having a practice of here are the things that I do that help me feel safe and protected and
Mm,
connected. And I always
mm.
start with safety. I start with rooting. I start with creating a container that where I know I'm held. Because when we're opening up to the non-ordinary realms, to beings who are not in physical form, we want to make sure we're connecting in safely with protection and with the highest vibration beings available. And so when you get started, maybe that's having the intention of connecting only with divine beings or only with angelic beings, and also having ways in your body that you recognize if this feels good to me or if it doesn't. But there are plenty of tricksters out there who want to get into your space. They want to channel through you. And so, having that basic psychic protection or energetic protection is like putting on your seatbelt when you get in the car. It's essential for me.
Fabulous.
Is there a certain way that you do that, or maybe a prayer or right, like something that you would kind of declare out loud?
Yeah, so what I do is I call in the seven directions. So this is a shamanic practice. It
Okay.
happens across different traditions indigenously. And so the seven directions are the center, which is in the heart center, and then all around us. So we have the four directions, north, south, east, west, and then the great above and the great below. And so when we call in all of these directions, we are being held from all around. It's like the witch's equivalent of casting a circle. And it could be a prayer. It's really what speaks to you and your soul. We all have different practices because we all
Sure.
have different ways of being.
Yeah, I love that too.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if you had another question. Go ahead.
I'm just that is just a really expanded space right now from even yesterday. I would love to queue up some callers though, because I feel that when we demonstrate your work,
Yeah.
the whole call receives it and there's this huge opening. So if you do have something going on in your life, a struggle, it's a stress, what
And just before I would,
drama.
yeah, while we're calling those up, I'm going to ask one more question. You mentioned, you brought to us the idea of the wisdom goddess, Sophia. Who is the wisdom goddess, and why is Sophia stepping forward at this time?
Yeah. Uh, Sophia is the first creation and she is the creatrix. So I've been studying Kabbalah, which is Jewish
I love that.
mysticism, for a long time. And if you look at the texts of the Hebrew Bible, just not even the secret texts, but the ones that are available to anyone, uh, you look at Psalms or you look at the Song of Songs, what you'll find is that Sophia, or the wisdom goddess, was the first one created by the infinite. And then she created the world. She created the various elements that then created the world as we know it. And so
Okay.
as I study the goddess, I always look for that essence, that unitive energy that I can speak to, that connects me to all the different faces of the goddess, whether it's a destroyer goddess like Kali, who's also so filled with love and compassion, or it's someone who is known for her love and compassion like Kuan Yin. And Sophia is that essential energy, essential goddess blueprint that infuses all aspects of the goddess and all aspects of the world as we know it. We are all aspects of the goddess. And so she is my primary passion right now and my obsession. I'm writing a book on her. I'm creating
Wow.
courses on her. There's a
Nice.
course that you can dip into that gives you a taste of her that
Nice.
we're offering here.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And then, so we talked about how you're making her teachings available. What do people receive whenever they are working with Sophia, goddess knowledge, right? What is the benefit for us to start to understand more about this revelation, to understand more about why she is the creator goddess? What are the benefits in our everyday lives?
Yeah. So Sophia is not only that essential energy that animates us and the world as we know it, but she also is consciousness itself. And so as we start to tune into consciousness, the veils that you're talking about, veils, things standing in the way, the stories that we've been bound up in are much
Uh-huh.
easier to pick off, to pick apart, to unravel so that we can connect into our essential nature, which is divinity. We are all divine made manifest, divine in human form. And
Yes.
so connecting with Sophia connects you to your essence and helps you to unravel falsehoods.
I love that.
Wow. With yeah.
I could see the benefit for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're ready for some callers. Tiffany has raised her hand. Tiffany, you're up.
Hi,
Hi, Tiffany.
you're actually probably the perfect person to ask this. I have a beautiful opportunity to go to a Chucaban fire down in Mexico with a Mayan priest and a couple Mayan priestesses. One's my teacher. Oh, I feel myself there. She can see myself there. Uh, but there is just so much turmoil. Just the cost. Like I'm going on my first ever trip to Jenna and Lianka's in-person event. And this is like a few weeks after, and I'm like going to Mexico. I don't know. It is pulling me so hard, but the fear is definitely even more crippling than saying yes to this in-person event. And I didn't know if you could help me with any of the blocks that are really stopping me. Or
Yeah.
do you see me there? If you can answer that.
Well, what I can answer is the moment that you started talking and that we energetically connected is that I started feeling turmoil in my solar plexus chakra. So that energy center that is our connection to self, to who we are, to self-esteem. And I'll just take a moment and tune into that a little bit more deeply to see what your solar plexus is trying to tell you about this trip, which sounds magical.
It does.
So it feels like you're on the precipice of an utter revolution in your way of life, in understanding who you are and what you're about and how you show up in the world. And that is huge, and it's not to be taken lightly. I'm someone who tends to rush towards excitement and towards opportunities to learn and to grow. And then, when we get in over our heads to kind of have to recalibrate, for me, it may be just like napping for days on end to pick up the pieces and make sure I can integrate in a way that's sustainable with my lifestyle. This for you feels like a huge threshold, a threshold of crossing from the way that you've been living with its incremental changes into a big shift, a huge shift into embodying more of your true self. And what I see falling away are these big old patterns. They're showing them in terms of the guides that I work with are showing them as almost like rotting packages that you've been carrying from place to place. You've been wanting to put them down for a long time, but there's a difference between consciously putting one thing down and dropping all of the baggage that you've been carrying. And it's a huge thing. It's like, the image that comes up is as you release all of these, you start to lift up off of this earthly plane. And that's metaphorical. It's not an actual like physical ascension, but in terms of your way of being in the world, it will be that. And so, of course, your body is showing signs of fear because it's a massive shift, and it takes some conscious sitting with this decision, because it's a big deal, and it's not, like I said, it's not incremental, it's major.
That's helpful. I feel the same way, but I was like, can I just dip my toe in? Because that's comfortable for me, like, but yeah, thank you. It's helpful.
Yeah, and what I might recommend doing before then is energetically dipping your toe into it so that you can start to unpeel and unravel and prepare yourself so it doesn't happen all at once, because that energy is already working you, right? Even as you entertain engaging with it, it's already there for you. So you can start preparing and you can start easing in, but there will be a lot to shed, and it will happen quickly.
I kind of feel like it's synchronous that I'm going to this in-person event, and then I might have a lot of healing and clearing that, I can be more confident saying yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. And I think only in that case, right? And when I just told Leonka behind the shades here, she said, I said first, wow, that's exactly how my nervous system went crazy when I hired 2 new people at the exact same time. If I would have hired one, I think I would have taken time to have a true integration, be very present with them, really help them grow up. And it might not have been that methodical. And then, but hiring 2 at once, I think just took my nervous system like to
She was
the
like,
roof.
I'm out, go to the beach.
She's
She's like,
it was almost like I quit. It's too much. I quit kind of energy. And I feel like, now there will be one hire at a time until I work up the capacity that there could be 2 at a time.
There'll be a time where we're going to need to hire more than one at a time.
Probably, but
But
then I'll have
yeah.
a manager bringing them up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is the thing. It's like, what does that come up to? Like, there's lots of times where I will even sit with someone that will help me get past my limiting beliefs, help me regulate my nervous system. And then one of the messages that my guides gave me is that, like, humanity, when we are in that space and when we're uncomfortable, it said, basically, it was like, yes, but humans go shopping for, and it gave me the image of like all these different shopping carts, and I'm putting back all the things that I undid so that I could feel normal again, or I could feel comfortable again. And so sometimes there are like where the places where I'm all the way up against my like comfort zone, and then I get past it, and then all of a sudden I want, oh, I want to retreat back. I'm going to put all those things back in my world. Or I don't believe that it's really, really gone for me, right? It's like, oh, I feel great right now. Let's say I have a pain and it's gone, right? We've worked on it energetically, and I'm like, oh, how long is this going to last, right? So I think there's a lot of just reconditioning ourselves to know that this is the way in which we can truly create. But we've just been conditioned so long.
I feel called to ask you about the nervous system and this jumping out of your comfort zone and changing
Yeah.
really fast. I just am kind of psychically curious what your guides are telling you about that for us.
Well,
For-
what you said about how you want to just
I
close
was
down.
asking Miriam.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But I do relate to that.
Your comment might actually be
Yeah, let's hear what you have to
worthy.
say.
Yes.
She's one of our inner circle. So part of our mystique. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Yeah, I feel that shutting down, and then my mind is just like, is any of this even real? You know, I get to
yes.
that point of panic.
Thank you. And I feel like Miriam might jump off of that same energy.
Yeah, I don't know how far you've gone down the realm of, or the rabbit hole of human design, but it's a fascinating way of perceiving ourselves. And as a manifesting generator, I'm someone who tends to skip steps. And the Sagittarius in my chart makes me run towards adventure, and mystical adventure is the very juiciest kind that I could possibly imagine. And so I tend to go full throttle into shifts and openings. And then, the human me just needs to catch up. And nervous system regulation is a fantastic tool to calm us down, to help us get grounded, and to ground us into this earth who's always there, like acting as she holds the lightning rods, right? So when we send a lightning rod down into the earth, that energy, that really powerful, transformative, fiery energy can ground. And we really need to be deeply in touch with the earth, whether it's physically being out there in the earth or using imaginal tools, imagination to ground into the earth, so that our nervous system, which is like a tree, it is the tree of life in our body, can find its roots down in the earth, because an uprooted tree is no good to anyone, right? That's where we become vulnerable and, to the elements. And so grounding our nervous system into the earth is essential for those of us who are playing with fire, which is what the spiritual path can be. I mean, it's not a safe path. It's, you can take it safely in incremental steps, but it is a magical, wild path, and it opens us up to our own magic and wildness.
Wow. So basically you're saying, like, just always be the tree.
Whenever you remember.
Yes,
Right.
that's fair.
Yeah. So to come back, we were talking about, practices before you start your magical work, your mystical work, and being the tree, imagining yourself as that tree of life who is grounding down into the earth. That's a fantastic way to get started as you're finding your safe space and calling in protection and getting ready to start shooting off into all of the various realms of reality that are available to us.
Wow. That's hitting me on a whole new level after I've heard Burchard say that a tree exists in all the dimensions, third, fourth, and fifth on planet Earth. And I thought, of course it is, because it is the frequency of a tree, right? It's that energy of that I'm here, I'm rooted, I'm totally present. And it's just almost a representation for us that play through the matrix or the whatever.
I gotcha.
anyone
Whatever we call
understand?
that.
This 3D world, this materialistic, holding stuff kind of world.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like-
And Kabbalah teaches us that we as humans are the tree of life. We are also that. And so anything that applies to the trees also applies to us.
I was just gonna
That's
say that,
nice
and
too.
probably where we got the
Like that
idea
better.
of Tree of Life, but there you go.
I-
I really do want to study the Kabbalah a little bit
Kabbalah.
more for sure, because there are some really sacred gifts and teachings there. So I'm really, really called. So thank you for sharing that. We have the next caller. Joe. Joe, you are up. Go ahead and
Hi,
unmute.
Miriam.
Hi,
Hey.
Joe. Good to
Good
see you.
to see you again. Because I'm in a really calm place with nothing going on for the first time in a long time, what I'm gonna do now is just open this up and let you do a reading
Okay.
and see what's there. A lot has shifted. That's all.
Great. So whenever I'm given an open playing field, I always hold the intention that whatever comes through is for your highest good and unfoldment. So I'll hold that intention. Wow. So as I tune in to your energy field, what I'm noticing is this upward, it's almost like helium, like this upward shift up your central channel of energy, an ascension kind of shift that's happening. Yeah, I keep feeling that helium, like I'm no longer being held down. I am upwardly mobile in the mystical, magical sense, which is pretty amazing to perceive. And let's just tune in and see if there's anything more that's wanting to be revealed here. The other thing that I feel happening is this opening up of the channel of your throat, that there were some blockages, and I can feel those starting to part. The image I get is that of almost like shifting tectonic plates, like the earth itself opening up to allow your own wisdom to pour through, to channel through. So I want to congratulate you and to honor what I'm perceiving in this moment, to really mark this moment for you, Joe. It's big.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's what I've been feeling, but with all that happened up to this point, I like to have some confirmation on that. So I definitely appreciate that.
It's my honor to witness you in your shifting, in your power, and in your voice. Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're doing it. I'm happy for you.
I'm so happy for you too.
Yeah.
Can you just tune in to me and tell me what you see?
Yeah, absolutely. I see a massive dragon. I see a massive dragon. So there's huge dragon energy that's coming in.
She dreamt of dragons last night.
Yeah.
Wow. The interesting thing about the dragon that I'm seeing is it almost looks upside down. Like what I'm perceiving is like tail in the air, head down here. Let's see. So I'm getting this, there's in Kabbalah, there's this expression of we need to descend in order to ascend. And this dragon energy is showing me that you're in this grounding, this working downwards, this finding your stable, solid base. And it's like the calm before the leap, that you're preparing for this massive quantum leap. You've been laying the groundwork and you're ready, like almost. I mean, it's imminent. It's about to happen. So you're in a sacred pause before.
They're just gonna fall into tears.
I love that.
Wow.
A sacred pause.
That seems so exact on for me too.
All right, I'd like to raise my hand as well. Can you tune in to me? I was like, wow.
All right.
An audience knows us enough to know.
Guacamole.
Okay.
Guacamole.
There is a shaking up of old patterns that is in process, and it's an emotional one. It's one that feels a little bit wobbly. It's like being on a I don't know, one of those balance toys that kids have that's like that kind of shakes your center of gravity.
Mhm.
And it's a calm before a massive shedding. It feels like there's this opportunity to take off. The image that's coming up is that of a costume that is laden with rocks. So it almost looks like the dragon costume, but imagine you're wearing this huge costume and it's got like rocks like this big, right? Like head-sized rocks all over it. And it's like, I can let this go, but if I let it go and there's emotion coming up, my reality as I have known it will shift entirely. And maybe it's just safer to walk with this, blanket or costume of rocks that's been holding me down, that's been making me feel safe and trapped at the same time.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a massive decision point, and it's already in process that like you're at that point of shedding, but in the shedding, because the rocks are kind of so interspersed around your energetic field, that as you release it, it's like, whoa, because it's shifting your center of gravity as you're
That
shedding.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Absolutely.
right. We've got a few more Mystique Inner Circle members that we're going to take, and then we'll take some other callers. All right. Paula, you're up.
Hello. Wow. Okay. So I kind of had a question, but now I'm not sure if I should ask the question or if just allow you to read just based on everything that's coming up.
I know,
so,
right?
yeah. And I don't know, maybe they have one to do with the other, but I'll just see. So I've been sensing some like uncomfortable energy between myself and my two oldest daughters. And I'm just curious if that's true or if it's just me kind of projecting or being afraid of something.
Okay. First of all, my heart goes out to you as one who has felt that, right? As a mother, it's like it's a lot. It's heartbreaking. So let's feel into this.
Mhm.
So the word that's coming up is animosity. And I keep getting an image of a comb as I'm kind of seeing your daughters here, and then I'm seeing you here. And there's something about this comb that's kind of, okay, the word nitpicking just came up, like them kind of nitpicking. But what is this about if we tune into the most essential layer of what's going on here? There's this sense that they want to be free, and there's this sense of you're holding me back, you're holding us back, mom. Like that's a piece of what's here, of like they really want to take off, and it's a credit to you and your mothering that they have the wings that they have to fly with. And so it's not, it's not all negative or conflict here. We need to recognize and honor the work that you have done, the foundational work that has gotten them ready to fly in the ways that they are ready to. They're also pointing you to a piece of soul work that you are ready for. And when I see this, this part of self, this shadow part that's wanting to be unwrapped and revealed, I see her in the front of your womb center. There's almost like a little ball of shadow that's showing itself, and they're pointing you into this unhealed, unresolved, and really challenging piece for you. And one of the gifts, the backhanded gifts, we might call it, of parenting, of motherhood, is that our kids can show us where we have not grown, where we have yet to grow and evolve. And if there is any sort of conflict with our child, then there is a little part of self or an old pattern that's waving its little white flag of surrender or red flag of, of conflict. in that setting, in that relationship. And so I would take this as an opportunity to tune into that within you, which feels challenged by your daughters, by this energy, and really just allow yourself to surrender to the challenge. Because in surrendering to the challenge, it will become clear to you what is resisting the evolution and it's like a letting go, right? We were talking about helium, right? There's something in you that wants to just lift up out of you and stop being in the denser material ways. And so your daughters are guiding you to that. And when you are able to tune in, to surrender, to connect with this aspect of self, not only will you grow and evolve and be able to meet them where they are, but you also will show them such a beautiful example of how to do the inner work, how to rise to meet the challenges that appear in interpersonal relationships, which can be some of our biggest places of growth if we allow them to.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. One more Mystique member. Dana, you're up.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Miriam.
Hey, Dina.
So in the last couple of years, I've had some super deep shadow, inner child, deep energetic releases, and especially this last year. And I'm just wondering if you can expand on what might be unfolding for me next.
Okay. Interesting. So the image that's coming up and the feeling state that's coming up as I tune into where you're at, it's an upward path. I see these colors that almost look like a darker rainbow spectrum, like more vibrant, more vivid. I see maroon colors. I see these beautiful, like it's almost like the savory. If you were to have a savory rainbow, that's the image that's coming up here. It feels a bit like what was coming up with Joe of this upward, this kind of ascension energy. But there's something about the richness of the journey that's making itself knowable to you and available to you. And it makes me think of the color spectrum of how we have like this very narrow piece of the color spectrum that's available to us, visually that we can identify. And you're moving into a different aspect of your capacity to access, to tune into reality. And it's tuning into that more savory area. So if you take that word savory and start to feel into what's possible there, it's the opening up of your inner senses, your inner capacity to perceive the gift and the delight and the depth in every facet of your experience. So to actually use that word savor as the verb that guides this next piece of your own spiritual journey or unfoldment, that savor is the key word as you move forward into greater and greater levels of delight.
Thank you so much. I'm very connected to the rainbow. I see them all the time. And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Wow. All right. Let's take one more. Anne Marie.
Renee's had theirs.
Oops. What?
I thought Renee had their. I could be wrong. Sorry.
We'll get her next. Anne Marie. We can't hear you though.
Emery, I think you are unmuted, but we still can't hear your audio. So you might want to type in your question on the chat and I'll read it back out.
Are you talking to Bodhi Keys?
Oh, I guess so. It just looked
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, me then.
Yes, you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sweet. No, I didn't get Anne Marie. It's my name on here is Awesome Bodhi. Keys. My name
Oh,
is Keys.
sorry.
We can't.
Wait,
No,
it's
it's
We
very
okay.
don't.
tiny
It's
on
okay.
our screen.
Oh,
I'm
how
very, very
funny.
thrilled. No, I'm very thrilled to get the opportunity. So it's all good. I thank you.
We need our
So,
specs.
I'm in a kind of a mental turmoil at the moment because I've gone through a lot of changes over the last 2 years. I've gone through a dark night of the soul, et cetera, and I've been going through a lot of awakening. And I find myself getting a lot of uh, synchronicities from posts on Instagram. You know, all of a sudden I'll see somebody say something that relates exactly to what I'm feeling. Anyway, at this particular time, about 2 weeks ago now, I just had this urge to get up and go buy a new automobile, and it turned out to be really an amazing thing because it allowed me to free up a lot of my funds that I had. And anyway, moving forward, a week ago today, I was taking my son to school in that new car, and I was creeping across an alley, and I got hit by by a lady who was speeding around a corner. Anyway, at this point, they said that the accident is my fault. I don't necessarily agree with that, but what I want to really kind of try to get a reading on is because I am really trying to let go and just allow the universe to direct me and allow the universe. And one of the synchronicities right after this accident said to me, you care too much about what people say or think. You care too much about what people think, and this is a test. And that really sunk to my heart because this new car is really nice, and it did kind of boost up my ego, although I thought I was really in control of it. Okay. With all of that being said, at this point today, I'm getting all this information that she wants to sue me because she was hurt, even though she didn't appear to be, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm trying to get a reading on should I just continue with my like releasing and just going with the energy and just staying present and not worrying about the past or the future? You follow kind of where I'm at?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for all of that.
Yeah. So your name is Bodai or Keys?
My name is Keys. Yeah,
Keys.
Kees. Keys.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Thanks. So Keys, what's coming up for me as I tune into your field are two different areas of your energy body are speaking up very loudly. One is your throat chakra, and the other is the thighs. The thighs are an area where we hold old trauma, unprocessed trauma. And the throat is a seat of expression and connecting into truth, right? And there's something about okay, the words primal scream are coming up here. There's like all of the old pain that you've been carrying, it's getting ready to come to the surface. And this accident and that which it has triggered, all of the symbolism with the new car and the freeing up energy, all of these themes that you're walking with, and I call them themes, from a bird's eye view level, right? They are inviting you to start to release some of that grief, some of that unprocessed emotion and trauma, or really all of it that is inside of you. And I give special attention to your thigh area as you are working through this energy. So, one of the classic ways that you can start to tune into that samskara or that crystallized cellular memory in your body, old trauma in your body, is to move into thigh burning type positions, postures. So that might be lunges or squats or things like that. And to really allow that kind of energy to start to burn, because when it's burning, that burning feeling, assuming this is safe for your body, you always want to make sure you're being safe with your body. But what you're wanting to do is to allow that heat to start to move and then allow yourself to be an open channel for the pain, the old emotion that is coming through you. Like if you had the capacity to be in a quiet space and to get into these physical postures and then allow yourself the freedom of like the primal scream, the release of the primal scream, you will move stuff in your body that is ready to go and it is coming to the surface. Like the universe right now is conspiring on your behalf to help you release that which is ready to move.
So, like, basically what you're saying, and I do have the opportunity today because I took the day off of work today and I'm home alone. So I do have the opportunity. So just basically what you're saying is like physical lunges and squats and things like that would get that energy moving around in my thighs and my waist area. And that would help me pass this energy.
Yeah, until it burns, really, like, as is safe with your body. But if you imagine your energy field as a state, it's in a state or desiring to be in a state of upward motion. So it's moving up from the thighs and you want to release it out through your throat.
So actually scream.
Screaming could be good. And the advice that I give people if there are screams that need to be released and there are people around is you can scream into a pillow, you can scream into your hands, you can scream in a closed car. There are ways to do this even if you're a city dweller, right? Or if your neighbors can hear you. But sometimes just using that voice to allow out the expression of the pain in the body helps it to leave. And you may want to light a candle also in that space where you are, again, within safety, but to just
I
have
have
that
some burning as we're speaking.
good because it will
Go ahead.
help in transmuting the energy that's being released. And when you're done, I would open the windows and just like fan out the room. If you have incense or sage, just like, burn
Yeah,
sage.
I lit both of my candles. I'm Native American and I burn sage regularly. And this morning I had two candles burning with sage, filled my whole house with sage this morning, trying to get rid of this negative energy.
Yes, yes. So you want to move it out of your body and then you want to clear the space. That will be really helpful.
Thank you so
Wow.
much. I appreciate it.
Wow.
You're so
Thank you.
welcome.
Oh my gosh. And thank you for that question
Yes.
because that like shifted us in every single way, I
Yeah, we
think.
had some serious
Very-
awarenesses here
Right.
and downloads. So, those are one of those times where that happens to us. We know someone that has happened to. It's a very, 3D thing. But it can whip us, all kinds of different ways. So thank you so much for being vulnerable.
Yeah. Appreciate the
Thank you.
question.
Thank you for allowing me. I appreciate it.
And know that any of the answers that come here, if they're landing for you, they can be for you too.
Yeah.
Especially if you're listening on the replay, if there's something that you come back to, you feel drawn to, I highly recommend listening to these again.
Mhm.
There are so many times where I'm listening to Miriam. She did a reading on me a second ago, or read and I have to come back. I know I'm going to come back to read that, to listen to that again.
Mhm.
Same thing for you all here listening on the line. You may not think that these questions are for you, but they are very orchestrated by the
Universe for the
yeah.
entire group.
Yes, absolutely.
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 Yeah, I can't wait to get the replay because I want to listen to that a couple more
Yes,
times to
right.
make sure I absorb all of that. Yes, yes. Thank you guys so much. I
Of
appreciate you.
course. Thank you for being here. Renee.
This may, I mean,
Go ahead. She's got a great question. I'm sorry.
oh my goodness. So what came up with me when you were going through all of that is, the people who actually are more like couch potato like people, like watching, sitting down, really
I can say that I've been a couch potato like person for a little while. Like I only do
moments of COVID, right?
I would say even still
Yeah.
like yesterday, like there
Yeah,
I
but
had
I mean,
times.
no, that
I'm not-
term is like people doing it all day, every
Okay,
day, 8 hours a day. They're not moving energies through their body. This is the first time I've heard a very, very specific word, burn. And I know that shamanism is a lot about the burn and the fire in your heart and,
You said light a candle.
Yeah, light a candle. Can you talk just a little bit about that and specifically this message with the movement and the burn?
Yeah.
Yeah. So shamanism teaches us that the four elements are our foremost allies in releasing and transforming and transmuting energy. So whenever I am doing a clearing for someone, or whenever I'm recommending someone do a clearing on their own, I always recommend using at least one of the four elements. So fire, earth, water, air, right? Wind can move energy. Earth can compost it. water can wash it away, can cleanse it. So, and when you work in concert with all four of them, the effects are amplified, and they are tremendously powerful allies for shifting energy. The piece about the thigh burning, I actually want to credit that back to Anna Forrest, who is a yoga teacher
Yes.
who teaches a really profound form of yoga that involves long holds.
Yep.
And she was the one who opened my eyes to what the thighs can hold, that the thighs can hold
Mhm.
old, unprocessed trauma. And so when you stay with it, you're allowing it to fire up and to start to leave. And if you think about a pot of boiling water and you put some fire under it, it starts to evaporate and it starts to move. And
Yes.
our emotions can be likened to water. I always work
Yeah.
with water to clear the emotional body. So when we burn it, it can start to leave our bodies.
Wow.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. That was beautiful.
I turned to Jeneth and I said, this is why exercise
Thank-
changes people's lives. Not just
Just
because
for
for
their
all the
bodies.
regular reasons, but just for this
Mhm.
particular. And he
Yeah.
was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That makes me want to go jump on the Peloton, man. Get
Yeah.
my cleats out.
You changed the whole business. So Renee, you're
Well,
up. Wanted to take one more.
we need to share the offer just for the sake
We
of time.
promised Renee. I feel so
we
bad.
can add,
Okay.
we'll add her right at the end. Let's just go ahead, if that's okay with you, Miriam.
Sure.
Right. All right. So Miriam has a way that you can work with her. I'm going to go ahead and share the package. All right. Miriam, do you want to briefly go through this?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I was waiting for you. Yes, so I am working very deeply with Sophia, the goddess of knowledge, who in Hebrew is known as Chokhmah, which I know is something that's very hard to pronounce. You don't need to do it. Let's just call her Sophia. So what I'm offering is this full immersion with the goddess Chokhmah, the goddess Sophia, of activating your 32 paths of knowledge. And these are
Wow.
connected to that tree of life that we were talking about, 32 paths of wonder. We're translating from the original Hebrew, from one of the most ancient Kabbalistic texts and the most shamanic of the Kabbalistic texts. So these are a grid of 32 paths in the body that we can open up through direct communion with Sophia. And this is, I think, up to 2 hours of content. It's about an hour and a half. And you can go through this course and start to connect in with the essence of this wisdom goddess and to activate her pathways through you so that your own highest consciousness energy can come on board and you can connect to her. And she will become one of your allies, one of your guides that you can access and work with again and again. So I invite you to do that. And as you go through the course, there are opportunities to, post questions, to ask, to share your experience. And so I will be with you every step of the way as you reach out for help.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
If you're looking for the link, you can find it at houthustle.com/live. That's houthustle.com/live. All right, one more. Renee, you're up.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is in regards to family and myself. I'm having issues, well, my whole life not being heard. And there's a specific issue that has happened in the last week with my father. He's had a COVID that's accelerated his dementia.
Hmm.
And I am just wondering, just backtrack a bit. I've started drawing again, and I do a lot of symbolic drawings. And I'm just wondering if there's a means to which I can help my dad energetically to support him, if that's through drawing, meditation, prayer.
Yeah. So what's
Um,
coming? Sorry.
Go ahead.
What's coming up for you, Renee, is breath work, and specifically what this situation is designed or poised to help you release is a lot of grief that you've been holding in the bottom of your lungs. So when we're in the bottom of the lungs, this is old grief that's been pushed down. It can be ancestral grief. And so the best way that you can support him is to allow your own healing and releasing work. And this is specifically the emotions of grief, which are held in the lungs. And so you can work with breath work. You can work to increase your capacity to take in more and more breath. So as you're taking in breath and you feel like you can't take any more, you can take another sip of air so that you're moving down into the depths of your lungs, and then release. And as you're releasing with the intention of releasing the grief, you can, once you feel like you've reached your capacity to release the air in your lungs, you can release even more, blow out even just another sip. And I would work with that breath work practice with the intention of releasing this grief. And as you're releasing it for yourself, you're also releasing it for your father, which will help him with his own healing process, whether, you know, emotionally for sure. And our physicality also impacts other people. So it feels like there's an opportunity there to support him in that.
Okay. And when I speak with him and he gets panicked because he's having sundowners, just go into that breath when I'm on the phone with him as well.
You
Just
could. I
relaxing
mean,
myself would affect him.
yeah, I would get relaxed before you get on the phone, and then find a breath technique that works for you to keep you calm, to keep your nervous system grounded as you're talking to him. Because, yeah, the more that you are centered and emanating that ease and clarity and centeredness, the stronger a support you will be to him.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. Wishing your father much healing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dana says, so sorry, Renee, sending love to you and your family.
Mhm.
There have, the comments today have been
That's
really
so-
amazing. Dana says, amazing insights today. Thank you. Definitely a rewatch episode. So many insights today. Yes, I think that very much. Are there any, I mean, gosh, time went so fast.
My
Any
goodness.
parting words that you would like to share with the audience today?
It feels like we are in the last throes of density, and that feels like a really bold statement to make. But
Mhm.
what's coming up in this circle, in particular, in everyone who's here that is ready to be released, is getting you to that next stage of ease and grace and clarity. And there's a lot more that can shift right now. The energetic climate that we're in, the alignment of the stars, all of those who are waking up, there is much more fuel available for our upliftment, for, I don't often use the word ascension, but I keep getting the word ascension here, for our own ascension process. And so know
Yes.
that everything that you do is kind of like bailing out like the hot air balloon, right? It's like we're all in a hot air balloon, and every bit that you release is enabling that hot air balloon to lift up and to gain traction, whatever that means to you spiritually from an ascension standpoint. But it really, like, every bit of work that you do on yourself to get yourself freer and clearer is actually supporting the entire collective, and it's easier now than ever before.
Yes.
Wow, how beautiful.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, we'll let you go. Thank you
for
so
that.
much. So many beautiful comments coming your way. It says, thank you, Miriam. I always get excited to see your name on the roster. Thank you so much. Emily says that, oh my gosh, I had the similar experience and amazing insights. And then from the chat, it was a wonderful interview. Oh my gosh, thank you, thank you. So lots of love, lots of love.
Thank you.
We
Thank
are
you all
very-
for
we
being
are
here.
very grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, it was
A couple
pleasure.
of announcements, everyone. We know that you have about, we get
10
started
minutes.
again, 10 minutes. to go get your drink of water, to do a bio break. Thank you for hanging with us. It's been an amazing first day and already start to this day. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to opt in. So make sure that you're getting the speaker special gifts, and you can do that at www.howthustle.com/summit. So make sure that you're signed in on the summit to receive all of the information and the free gifts that we're doing as well. And to like and subscribe. So if you do visit our YouTube channel, which all you have to do is just search How and Hustle to find it, you can subscribe there and then also like. So leave comments. We do appreciate them as well. And I try and go through and I personally answer each one of them. So there we go.
You guys, and we are doing the summit because we do have a live event coming up, and we want to invite all of you. It's November 7th through 9th, and it's an embodiment event here in Austin, Texas, an in-person event. Tickets are on sale for $150 this week. If you're interested or you're just even on the fence, we will have a conversation tomorrow, Wednesday, to go through all the details about what the event actually is. There's a lot of footage on the website at howthustle.com/event. You can also get that on the live page at howthustle.com/live, LIVE. And on that page, you will find a link to our event right under our pictures at the very top-ish part of the page. Scroll on down where the links happen under the speaker pictures, and you'll find it there. We would love for you to just even go visit the page. There's a lot of energy work from a previous event, and this work for us is really about embodying your next timeline jump, so to speak. Lianka told me before this call that I often say words like frequency or timeline jumping.
Timeline jumping is, you can understand that.
That's better. Okay.
Yeah. I think people can
But
understand that.
people may not really get. And
it's about jumping into your highest timeline. So like
Mhm.
when we come into Earth and when we decide to choose our parents, we choose our path, we have a purpose here, things that we want to learn. Whenever we come to this experience, we also choose, what would be our highest timeline? What would be the most beneficial use of our time here on Earth with all of those lessons and all the things that we want, desire? God put those in our hearts. We put those in our hearts for a reason, and they are because they are for us. And so when we say you jumping to your highest timeline, that is where you meet yourself in the reality in which you have already have those things. You already are being those things, being the frequency of you are already matching what is available for you. What are the things that you designed for your life as your reincarnation here on this lifetime? So we do, our oversouls, our higher source connected to God, ourselves connected to source, have a path and a purpose. And that's why you always hear people saying, I want to live my purpose. I want to understand my purpose. And many times we think this is this big grand thing outside of ourselves. And really it's just about tuning into and being the frequency, like Jenna says, of that highest timeline. And so when you can do that, you jump into the reality where all of those things meet you. So it's just navigating this reincarnation, this lifetime with the most available tools for you so that you can get out of the muck and stuck. I mean,
Yeah.
Jennifer and I have been in the muck and stuck.
And I was kind of getting yelled at by my guides when she was using the word highest, but that is the way that it communicates. But it's really like the next available upgrade that your body is capable of really truly having and being. It's how I wanted to say it. And did you see the roll of the eyes? Because I was like, I can't say that. And then I'm like, I'm going to say it anyway.
Well, and so the problem is that there's a crux with the word next level.
Yes, I get that.
Yes. So,
but I don't know the English word for it.
because there is and the word is, I don't guess
Evolution?
Well, words are codes, and so
Mm,
highest is the one that kind of reads
Read.
closer.
Yeah, it does.
But maybe it's a divine, it's like a highly orchestrated,
Rated.
yeah, it's
Yeah, it's like a bunch of beautiful symphonic words put together.
yeah,
all-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
It's, you
so
know, the
20
one
is-
that's been established in your heart and you, what you came here with a path
Mhm,
for.
yeah.
There you go. And that may mean jumping past the next, right? That means that quantum leaping.
I know, I love it.
Yeah.
But this is what it's like when you're in our inner circle, because we'll be like, here's a concept, and then I'll put it out there, and then Lianka will come up with something really profound,
Whatever.
and then I'll come back and say, it's even more profound than that. And then she'll come back and say, no, actually, I was right in the first place.
No. Oh,
And then I go, maybe she was right. It's just my limited belief system that didn't receive it.
It makes me laugh. But we do have, and our community like also contributes to the way in which we can describe some of these indescribable more
Yes.
esoteric ideas, and the way in which that because words are codes, and
Yeah.
when we get coded and when we are able to somewhat grasp more of the understanding of what we are traversing here on earth and how we can use our gifts is how we can navigate with the, you know, highest sense of direction, if you will.
Mhm.
And our community very, very much will chime in, and they'll be like, oh, I see it as this,
Yep.
or I see it as this for someone else too. And it's such a contribution. I mean, things that I have received from our community, it's indescribable. So there you go.
And we will also be talking about that on tomorrow's call,
Yeah.
right about at this time. So if you're interested in being a part of our inner circle, please join that tomorrow.
I'm a little bit braggy. I'm not even kidding. Like,
Oh my gosh, it's beyond. I mean, I feel like, wow, I'm doing this business just to grow myself now.
because this community, even the community, I always talk about the community on the calls, that join the calls all the time, that is part of the Hustle Just community for the show. I love our community. They're so non-judgmental. We ask questions freely.
Yeah. We can
Because
talk about Santa Claus.
yeah, all of it, right? Without feeling like, you know, persecuted in any way. There's so much love. You can see that on the chat. And then when you get into the inner circle, it's like we get to unmute the line and everybody, you know, just kind of chimes in. And I really,
Just
really love that.
escalating like
Oh,
that.
man, we're on that call for and the
Yeah.
hours fly by, y'all.
It's just
crazy.
2 hours of pure fun.
It is really neat.
Connecting with this.
We'll talk about it tomorrow, but still, I'm just had to be a little bit.
All right,
braggy,
we're going to get started in 1 minute. I'm going to stop the recording. 1 minute to go crazy, guys. It's off their line. Oh, wait, y'all are still here. Wow, you would think that I took some drug or something. I feel so high off the first call. And yesterday, my God.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Wow.
All right, we'll go ahead and start fresh with Amy.
Yay.
All right, take a breath, everyone. I'll try to settle down. And take a moment just to connect with other people on this line,
No, I
just
love
bringing them into the family, bringing them into the
Thank you.
contribution. All right, here we go. Okay, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeneth Blackert.
And I'm Lianka Reyna.
And this is the Hustle Mystic Morning Show. And today we're talking with Amy Stilarski, and we are going to talk to her about her spirit school. And I'm sure we're going to go miles deep.
We do go miles deep.
Channel.
And just correct me, I'm saying Sikarsky, right?
Sikarsky.
Sikarsky.
Yay, I finally got it. Well, my name is Lianka, so I always know there's a little bit of trip up sometimes when people say my name as well. So Amy is an intuitive physical channeler and energy therapist. She works closely with higher dimensional beings, including the client's higher self, angelic realms, spirit guides, and star councils. Amy specializes in mentoring the awakening starseed and is a physical channel for the Council of Light, and Archangels in her Spirit School courses. Amy shares many experiences and information on the energetic body, light working, and intuitive communication. Amy is licensed vocational nurse, certified teacher, Reiki master, past life hypnotherapist, and channeler. She is a published author and the host of Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast, an online TV show. I've loved watching that too. What a treat you've brought to the earth and to the world. So thank you, Amy.
Oh, thank you. And I'm so excited to be here. Like always, I was tuning in, not on video, but just in energy about 30 minutes ago. And I was like, oh, I can feel the energy is high today.
Yay. And you
Love
said
it.
that you had checked out the live cast from yesterday and you were like, wow, the energy. So yeah, it was pretty intense yesterday and it definitely is high today. So excited to be here with you. In fact, we were looking at the lineup today and we were like, wow, it's going to be a really cool day. So
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's dive right in.
Yeah, let's talk about channeling, because I know that that's one of your gifts and it's one of the gifts that you want to bring to other people. Do you want to start a little bit about taking us on the journey of when you started channeling, how to help people channel, and just
Mhm.
go down the road?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you. So we all can channel. And I think just to start out, many of us probably are channeling and we don't even realize it just in life, especially if you're very empathic and sensitive to energies. And so what I do is, like conscious channeling, where I'm aware that I'm channeling in sessions. And then I also do physical vocal channeling where and those beings that I channel, it's the Council of Light. So they'll come in and they'll speak, like my voice changes and I'm here, I'm just hanging out right here listening to the conversation. But how did I get here, right? So, gosh, in 2001 and I heard this, I think yesterday on the show, I was trained as a Reiki master and that, was the gateway, right? Like it opened it
That's a
all
gateway
up.
Yeah.
All up. Like I started having visions and visitations and I was not only seeing beings, but seeing light and feeling energy run through my body, all of this. And so it activated my clairsenses. And I feel like it was like Wizard of Oz where everything was black and white. And then I walked outside and it was like Technicolor. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, what have I been missing? And so that opened up the whole experience of non-physical connections and support and beings. And I think I might have shared the last time we had a conversation about my initial journey, but I just said a prayer to the universe one day. I didn't know who was listening. And I was like, I need some help. And I was in high school and I got in my car, no GPS, like there was no cell phones.
Yeah.
And they took me down a one-way road to a crystal shop. And that's where I learned about Reiki. And
Wow.
I never seen crystals. I didn't know about like how to use incense, none of it. Right.
Yeah.
And so calling from my heart and it opened up so much. And I was fascinated with the world of health and healing. And in high school, I was in the health club and I thought, oh, I'll be a nurse when I get older, which it happened, but my love diverted to energy work. And I share that because when you start with yourself and your self-care, your self-healing, then your clairsenses activate, of course. And so I was Reiki master and offering sessions for the public. I started that, I think I fully transitioned like 2014, I think it was, to out of nursing and into energy work. And then readings came with it. And in that point in time, I was channeling messages with my eyes open. I hear a message, I share it. I was reading oracle cards, channeling energy, Reiki energy, which there's other modalities and frequencies as well. And so then in 2017 or 18, I met my friend. We had been online friends and we met in person. And I was just introduced to physical channeling. And I was like, wow, this is fascinating. I just go how spirit leads me. I never discovered this because I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
And then when it found me or I found it, I was like, wait a minute, this is really cool. But, I asked a lot of questions. Prior to that, I had taken a class in channeling your higher self, if you want to call it like your soul energy, your own
Yeah.
light codes. And I did some mentoring with my friend, and then I took another class, and I was like, I think I can do this. So I got the questions answered that were in my head, like, is this safe? What's the protocol? What are the mechanics? How does it work? And because I had all this time in the space of already being in tune with my clairsenses
Mhm.
and like being able to telepathically communicate with whoever I was communicating with, then I developed this agreement or contract or relationship. It's more like a friendship with the Council of Light, and it was my team, and they have amplified since then. So it started with my team, my guides, and then I noticed like, okay, now we're gonna bring more in, and kind of like, here you go. This is the Council of Light. We love to introduce you to this collective, and I started channeling them, and I feel a benefit to all of it. Like channeling is so amazing because it just deepens your connection to spirit. And we can say channeling, and we can channel our own soul energy. Like I've met my higher self, and she is funny. Like
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
said
mine is
laugh.
too.
I'm like, right. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah.
it's
It's like, oh,
just
you're funny.
it's so
Yeah.
funny. Sometimes I'm like, okay, thank you, because I needed that. Today was a rough one, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So there's so much we can do with channeling to help ourselves, our family, the big decisions in life, and of course, our friends, or if you want to go and offer it as a service, as a
Yeah.
career, that's a possibility as well. So that's just a
Mhm.
little start. I'm like so excited to dive into any and all questions.
Yeah. Well, we want to queue up questions for you because we'd like to demonstrate your work. One of the things that I've learned about channeling is once you start doing it, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Can you share a little bit about your experience about that?
Yeah. I'll go back to my first reading because every type of, that's a channel too. I was in the Reiki space with a client in person, and he started asking me questions, and I was like, wait, no, I don't do. I was like, wait a minute, I don't do readings. I haven't taken any classes in this, but I was already in the space. And it
Uh-huh.
was like, I was like, okay, let me try. Why not? So when he would ask a question, I got a vision, and I was like, it just opened it. I was like, wow,
Uh-huh.
I didn't know I could do this because I didn't try. Nobody
Yes.
asked me,
Yes.
right? I
Yes.
wasn't there. So so that was like the introduction to it. And that allowed me to trust myself and to trust spirit, and to then take classes in angels and angel readings, relay reading, which is like you get the message and then you put it in your words and you say it, and cards. And that's kind of where it started. But can you repeat the question again?
No, I feel
Well,
like you answered it. I was more
You
about
did.
expansive.
You did.
Oh,
Okay.
Here's another question too. It says, can you share a time when you embodied guidance and transformed your path? In how we can work with channeling and why, that
yeah,
kind
how
of with
it
the premise,
changed you.
right? With the premise of like how it changed you and how you changed your path.
I have a sense that you just kind of do it all the time, following the rocks, and I know you do that crystal digging.
Oh, I know.
Right. It seems like there's probably a day that even calls you. So I
Oh,
think that would probably be
totally.
included
Yeah.
in this question.
You have to follow her on Instagram. She's got some really cool stories there. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So the question was
ones.
more about, can you share a time when you embodied some guidance from, through channeling, and how has it
Yeah.
transformed your path?
There's so many.
I
I'm
know.
like trying to figure what's a good one. I guess I'll share like in business, because I feel like my calling, or what's been my heart's desire from the beginning, turned into business. It wasn't the other way around. And so spirit will say, oh, here's something that people need, or we want to get this message out. And like Jen's saying, like, I'm just here in the house and I get a message, that's how it is now, because I work towards it. And I, like, if something's off in my energy, I have to look at it immediately. It's super uncomfortable. So when you become really clear like that, then you're really clear, receptive to messages. And so that's really helped me, because I get messages like, oh, share this. So at the school, I do a monthly healing meditation, and they usually will give a message like, hey, for the month or in 3 weeks, like, focus on this. So I'll share that with the group. But for myself, it'd be like, hey, we have a message, put it on the podcast. or go check your schedule. We need you to block these days off. Like you have them open, but something in life is going to come, and it always does. And I'm like, okay. So like this summer they were like, you need to block 2 months off. I was like, really? What? But all this
Yeah.
stuff happened with my family, and I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay,
Wow.
cool. Yeah. So at that point, I just I have a private mentor group, so I left it open for them and students. But sessions, I was like, I can't. Spirit's telling me. So that's the way, like you get this prompting or this knowing, and you trust it, like breadcrumbs. Take the step, test it out, trust your communication, and just feel like, oh, okay, I'm going to just go with this. So we all can have our own communication style. For me, it's a feeling inside and then a thought. And then I kind of lean into that thought and I get like a yes, the thought comes through again. Yes, a confirmation. And so if you start with that and don't block it out, then you can see the magic unfold and the aha moments like, oh, this is why. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. So some of the like strongest points in time have been ones where they say, hey, these are messages to be delivered. And then of course the 3 weeks in the future, I'm like, oh my gosh, we needed that. Like this is a theme. And yes, really sit with it. So that has helped. Personal scheduling's helped. When
I was
we
gonna ask
moved,
that.
yeah, that helped. All
Yeah.
of it. So I'll just say like a fun exercise if you guys have something coming up but you don't know what it is. So like we want to take a trip or we were going to move, but we didn't know when would be the weekend to go look for the house. So I just look at the calendar, I breathe, connect, with my heart, ask spirit to be around. And when I say spirit, this could be your soul, it could be God, it could be your guides, angels, whomever you choose to invite in. And then you just kind of feel and you'll get a knowing. Like sometimes I'll see the numbers or I'll look down and they'll be like, nope, not that week. Swipe to the next week,
Wow.
or pan out and look at the whole year. But
Right.
your energy, like your awareness will kind of go to kind of like zoom in and focus. This for me, like focuses. And I'm like, oh, that's the space and time. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna block that, or we're gonna take the trip that day. And so it's always helped because I mean, things are amazing. You can go through life and have synchronicity and random happenstances and connect in with people when maybe you weren't expecting it. But it's always like kind of this next level up of excitement when you're like, oh, there was a reason I was supposed to be here this day.
Nice.
I got this date like, 6 weeks ago. And look, I
Yeah.
just met this person, or I found a product, or I, was introduced to like some kind of information. So it's so powerful to utilize in your connection in your own personal life. And that's where I would like strongly suggest people start if you're wanting to channel for others. Absolutely. But it all, starts from
Yeah.
within first.
Yeah, it was funny. I put on this necklace today and I was just called first for a bigger piece. And I looked at some of my bigger pieces and then this one was like, right, like here, I am here, and it's this Jerusalem cross that I got from my mom. And
It's pretty.
it was just, it's so funny. Now I live my life, not, I don't have to go out of my way to tune in, but it's almost like, I need a bigger piece with this black shirt. And then which one is yelling at me? It's like, do
Yes.
you put lemon or lime in your drink? And it's like almost like, okay, then today's the lime, right?
Mhm.
It's like, how do I decide? And you don't need to decide, it's already decided for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
What are some of the simplest ways a beginner can open up to their guides or to receiving?
Breathe. Like you have to breathe.
Mhm.
Because if your body is tight, then everything's closed off, like physically and energetically. And like I just had my legs crossed, so I just uncrossed them. Uncross your arm and legs, like you want to have an open energy field. You want to let your chakras feel like, oh, they can breathe.
Oh,
So you
interesting.
want to breathe and relax. Because that opens a space where energy can flow and move through. And then just do a nice cleansing. Like there's so many cleansing exercises, but do what works for you. If it's a meditation, if it's a mantra, if it's listening to music, or some of us, I know, like if I put incense on it, it automatically relaxes when I light it, and I just feel so amazing. And then the next step is be receptive, but also kind of start the conversation, ask the questions, let them know. You need to have an intention, let that intention be known that, hey, I want to connect. And if it is a question, these are kind of like the themes or the questions, what's put on my heart and mind, and then relax and see what comes in, and don't force it, because I've had times where I sat in meditation and I wanted a question answered and nothing came through.
Mm.
And this was kind of at the beginning when I was, working on the skill. And I learned over time that that's okay, because it came through like that night or the next
Yeah.
day. Yeah. So there's reasons. Maybe it's not the right timing. Also, maybe the answer isn't firm. Like maybe there's not a known answer yet, and it's dependent on somebody else's decision. And our teams can give us what we call like the highest timeline, the most optimal outcome, what looks the strongest.
Yeah.
But people are people. We can change like that. Like somebody can
Yes.
make a
And
decision.
we have free will.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the free will comes in. So sometimes if you don't get the answer right, then don't be upset. You know that you put the question out, it'll come through. And some of us, our teams, especially at the beginning, love to talk through signs and symbols.
Mm.
So flowers and pennies
Yeah.
and feathers, and then like even
Even
writing
white
down
feathers.
billboard. Yeah, feathers. I'm a big fan of feathers.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love feathers. And so I'm like, oh, okay, they wanted to just share it in more of a
Mhm.
physical way. And when you're first
Yeah.
starting out, they might give you something physical so you can say, oh, I didn't make this up.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right. I want to take a few callers if we're good with that. All right. Let's start with Dana, because she's one of our Inner Circle Mystique members. Dana, you're up.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi.
It's been a minute since I last connected with you and had a couple of readings over a year ago. So I'm in a much different place these days. And like lots and lots of releases. I've met my shadow, my inner child, my higher self since I've last connected with you and had a reading from you. And I'm channeling now for this past year. And mostly dragons have been coming through, but blue avians are my dialect, and they just started coming through more often lately. And I'm just wondering if you can just expand on my channel for me.
Oh, fun. Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with like information on both. But personally with dragons, so that's exciting. I'm so excited for you. Let me tune in. So you know who stepped forward is the Council of Light. So they're gonna be kind of like my
I love them.
gatekeepers. Yeah, giving the info, right? Yeah, so exciting. Let me see. Come and do like a relay channel. So what they're telling me. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah. I see like the fire has just opened up in your solar plexus, and that's given you a lot of strength. And they talk about free will, and it's like, I know I want to do this. I'm getting a calling in my heart. My mind is saying yes. And now you have that fire to step through and let the messages be delivered. They're saying to show up for yourself, to show up for others. And it's speaking your truth. You have a few past lives where well, it was kind of vicious, but you were beheaded in one, like
I'm aware of it.
Mhm.
Yep.
And so that is healing. And what they show me is like it's like sewing up the energy, and it would just be like a scar. Then like over time the scar, disappears. And so the more that you step into your power, and you go the next step, when you have the fear or the little bubbles inside, like our heart flitters and our tummy gets the butterflies, you just take that next little step forward. That's going to help you to heal that. And also at a soul level, one of your highest desires, and also a calling that you kind of said for yourself. It's like a calling that you put yourself into, is to be able to show up and speak truth and bring light to dark situations. And that can be sticky. Like we're living in this world right now, and there's a lot going on.
Well, that's
There's
the
a
lifetime
lot.
that I was beheaded for speaking my truth. So that's the one that has been healing.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. And so it's those things that would be uncomfortable that maybe goes against the grain. And they're just the council saying the right time and right place is what's going to be like your safety space and the boundaries, So if the topic is already in conversation, then you vocalize, and that's like the right time, the right place. And it's going to help you. It'll really help you heal that. but also your soul is like, yeah, I have so much to share. I feel like you just say, I have so much to share. And when it was cut short on the last time that they were talking about, it was like, what? Your soul is like, what? Are you kidding? You know, I just sometimes think like this is kind of out there, but life like a game. Here I am playing Super Mario Brothers and game over. And I'm like, wait, what a minute? No. And the soul wants to come back in, and you're like, I have so much to share, and we're going to do it this time. So they say, just you're on your path. I see the fire. Now it's letting it come up through the heart. And everybody like take note, because you understand this, but it's like you don't have to be aggressive, and we don't have to like try and get our point across. We can very calmly say what we want to say physically, but the energy is going to speak for itself.
That's
So
where I'm at now. Yes.
yeah, they're just applauding you. Congratulations, they're saying. Like it's
Yeah.
such a party. But not only like it's a big part because you are taking a direct approach, just saying a personal effort. You're really leading this for yourself, like you're healing, and you're not falling into like the victim mode of, oh no, oh whoa, you know me. You're standing up and walking forward in this, and they show like a torch of light, and they're telling me you're here for it. So yeah,
Yeah, thank you. I
congrats.
just started doing some lives for light language too, and readings. So that's what I've been doing lately. Like, it's just starting to do the lives and be used to being out there.
Oh my gosh, my tummy, amazing. Like I just felt the butterflies because I remember when I first started doing lives, I would just sit in front of the camera and be like, 3, 2, 1, okay, just push the button. And once I push it, here we go, you know? So that is next level. I'm so excited for you. There's so much that you're sharing with the world, and it's a lot that you have to do to build yourself up to that and the healing. So yeah, they're just clapping. It's such a party over here.
Yeah, I just did my first group transmission with my mentor like last month.
Amazing. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing with the world and your question here, your experience.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Wow.
That's super exciting,
I
Dana.
know.
Yay.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right, Lana, you're up. Or Lana.
Yeah, hi everyone. I would like to ask same question as Dana asked. I began to communicate with my spirit and with my dragon, beautiful dragon, and my soul family angel. But I would like to begin to communicate with my Pleiadians family. Also, I would like to ask a question. Sometimes it was a couple of weeks ago, I was contacted by it was different civilization, so time by time, but sometimes it's last time especially it was very strange messages, and I would like to ask Council of Light if it was. Sometimes I wonder if it was like it's nothing wrong, bad or good. So everything can exist, but it can be some civilization which is more. I don't know. Don't wish me maybe good that I rise myself, and that's why it can be. Such strange messages. So it's like red. When it was these two strange messages, they said once they said that they are Arcturians, other times they said that they are from Sirius, but it was once it was like I with closed eyes I saw red color, very red, and it was they said. Like message that I have to contact one person, but this person can communicate with Council of Light. And it was for me like, why you didn't communicate with this person direct? And
Lana, can you just ask a simple question around the story
Oh,
so that
I've got to answer.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I'm following. So I was getting the messages, and then as you continued, it confirmed. So, okay. Okay. So you are, it's the energy that wanted to connect or wants to work with you is Palladian. And your energy is so soft and so beautiful. I just see a lot of pink. And the vision was like laying on the earth in a field of pink flowers and connecting at the heart and connecting with Mother Earth as your foundational space. And then when you're protected in that foundational space with the earth energy surrounding you, all love, all abundance, like it's just flowers. It's the essence of floral energy. I just feel that. Then it was like you lift up and there's a straight connection to the Pleiadians. And you just go and you're going to be there. Now, what happened is there was interference. You were not connected to who you would want to be connected to. Absolutely not. They called it an interference. And what I'm seeing is like static on the airwaves, or let's say you're tuned in on a radio, and then all of a sudden, like you're picking up another channel and you're picking up these channels, and those messages that you got, the way that you heard it would be how I would also hear it, but the beings were not who they said they were, and you were in a different frequency. So they want you to be like in that pink loving energy and then go straight up to the Pleiades. What happened is it was like a dimension above it, and I'm seeing, we could understand it like walkie-talkies or people putting things out on an airway, and the person, well, not a person, the entity that was controlling that communication is just sending a signal out, whoever can hear it. And they were like the nature of the message, and then how it became aggressive and like, why didn't you do this? Those are signs of not a guide. That's nobody you need to talk to or deal with. Like, that's not for you. Don't even. So,
But it was, sorry that I'm interrupting you. It was not like aggressive. It was just, we want to heal you, because before that I make protection, and I said that nothing just without my agreement can come through this protection. And they said, oh, we can heal you. And I said, yes, okay. I gave my agreement. So they said that just you can allow it. And I allowed this, but it was something wrong. And the other one, next, it was message even more strange. It was about, I don't know if I can share this, that you have your your freedom, but you have to decide until 2027 and connect us, and we can take you to a secret city on the planet. And I said, so it was very.
I'm just gonna stop, right? Sorry, like, it's not a good being. I can feel it in my body. My body is screaming. All my chakras are shut, like, because I refuse to connect into that energy. There is something off. And so in this space, you need to understand like how your body responds, spiritual discernment, and you can get a message and it could sound so eloquent. It's like the most perfect words to say, but the energy behind it's wrong, and this energy is wrong. So they're saying connect with Earth first, and maybe like work with a mentor or somebody to help you fortify your not just your field, but like your connection. Because if you hear something and then you start engaging, you've given permission for that conversation, and then it can manipulate
that's
you.
why I'm worried a bit that I can, because I thought before that because I activated light body Merkaba, so I thought that nothing can, any entities can contact me, and nothing can hurt me, but they contact me without. It's not like I contact
think that
them.
this is
the last thing I'll just share is the light body wasn't fully activated. I can see what you were sharing. You didn't go up to the Pleiades. You stayed in a different dimension, and that's where the connection
I will go to course and continue to activate. It's true.
But good question.
Yeah,
Spiritual
I
discernment
love that
is really
question.
important.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm really glad you asked that question, because as soon as you were like, no, you were like shaking your head, and I had already gotten like okay, that's why she's asking this question, so that the audience can really get
Yeah.
that when we do go and channel, we need to channel for the highest light. And that's, why don't you talk a little bit about the energy
Yeah.
around that? Because it's more than just like one question and one request.
And it's possibly why you do teach on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably the
Yes.
biggest reasons, because when I started doing any woo-wee work at all, that's how it all started for me, was I was being like woken up by just like any Joe Schmo, right? Any type of energy that wanted my attention, I was just woken up. So I feel like this is a really, really important learning part for anybody that is opening themselves up to channeling.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much to share. Like I'm getting all these messages. I just want to like, where do I start? It's going to be all out of order. But number one, you want a gatekeeper. And to get a gatekeeper, like how do you even do that if you are new and you don't know who you're communicating with? So a mentor is really important. And I got a gatekeeper, and it was through a mentor holding space, and he could clairvoyantly see, and so it helps to work with somebody who has the experience and the skill set to communicate with the different clairsenses, because my whole body was like, nope. Like I can still feel it. It might take you guys, if anybody tuned in, it might take a minute for your body to relax, but it's like red alert, like red flags, like sirens, like no, no, no. So, so you want to listen to your body. And when I teach the class, we also have like a checklist. What are the encounters like of a true being that's there for your highest good, or others that are trying to divert you or play games or just put out like this call in this net and see who they can catch, right? So there's a lot to it. And so the thing they're telling me right now, like you have to start at the basics of understanding your own energy. What is yours and what is not. And the way that we do that is to heal the light body, to heal the emotions, to even physically, we want to be of good health so we can clearly understand what's happening. And then we work with an archangel. That was my process, and it's been amazing. So then I can feel the light around and the protection. And there's one thing that I want to share that's probably not a popular statement or approach, but there's a lot of misinformation in my experience that says, well, I said this, so then it has to be. You know, like I said, I'm going to be protected, so I'm going to be protected. But that's not really how it is, because if an energy comes around and you even kind of like lean in and listen and then take that conversation, you just opened a door. So your actions are important. It's like saying, oh, I don't want to get dirty, but I'm going to jump in this puddle of mud. You know, it's like, well, hello, like you didn't take the proper protocol. And so sometimes we don't know the protocol. But the other thing they're showing with me is a healed aura is so important. Like a lot of times we talk about chakras in the body. The aura is so important. And we can have wounds in the aura from this life or other lifetimes. And if there's a little opening or a rip, it's like this energy can leak in. And so then it's like, oh no, I'm seeing this, I'm hearing it, it's here. Okay, but where did it come from? And is it really something that's even like for you? Are you tuning into somebody else's information and like an experience they had in a life, or is it a spirit around? So the light body is important. I'm so grateful that you talked about the Merkaba, because I don't have it on me, but my book, Activating the Starseed, talks a little about that and activating the light body. And when you said that, they showed me there was a part it wasn't activated. It was like taking flight, like trying to leave, like a ship going, but it hadn't fully left. And then in that space, you're hearing all this chatter. So I would just share like what feels right in your heart and mind and like your body, what makes practical sense. All the information that we channel needs to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, there's like, in some ways it might not, in that, oh, you're learning about it, right? Like, oh, okay, but tell me more. And then you get more information and there's ways to implement it, but it shouldn't come in riddles or make us feel confused. And so trusting your body, listening to the messages, and then also there's messages and beings and like people maybe will get a reading and 90% of it's amazing and true and accurate and of the light. And then there's like that 10% that they throw in there. So those messages could be enticing because they might say the right thing. Like, oh, you have free will, but only up until this time, and then you have to do this and this. So if it creates fear or there's a caveat or like a hook to it, that's not your guide. That's not
Yes.
your light. It's not your soul. Like, no. So I'm so glad that we had this conversation and I could
Yes.
help just share that for you, Lena and Erlana, and for the group. So
Thank you.
hopefully that gives us all
Yeah,
something
it
to
does.
consider.
But the one that is you can ask them who they are too, and they will come close, and if it feels like wrong, sometimes they can
Yeah.
be tricksters. It doesn't happen very often. But you can say, well, who are you? What's your purpose here? And then see if what comes back really rings as true.
Listen to your body.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really listen your body.
Yeah, it's and my biggest clues are always if they are instilling fear, if they're giving you messages that sound hopeless, or they
Mhm.
have that hook. Oh, but you can do this until you do a spell. What?
And if
You
they
know?
go tell you to eat candy,
Like what?
Yes.
You can be like, this
Eat-
doesn't feel
eat-
right. That's
eating
creepy.
demons.
You can tell.
You
Yeah.
can tell. That's
Yeah.
why I start with like creating a sacred space, having your energy check in every morning. I like to work with Archangel Michael is the first one I worked with because he's a guardian, but not that, hey, I'm gonna work with you and we're gonna dive right into trying to make connections with beings. More, it was like, let me feel your light, clear my room, let me feel the difference, let me get to know the energy. And then the other angels would come in. So having a clean space around you and a strong force field, that's part of the Merkaba. Like you have to activate the force field to lift. So if the energy in the room is already in that frequency because you've made a connection and you've developed a relationship, and then like when I go to channel, I do that because I do it every day, but the energy's built up in this space. So that's just piggybacking on what you're saying, like the energy in the space being really high frequency, and before you start trying to make a connection and have a conversation, look to that first. Like, what is the space like? And if it means I need to physically clear clutter out and clean my windows,
Yeah.
dust the cobwebs,
Yes,
let's
ma'am.
start there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you said that too. One of the comments from the chat that I thought was interesting, Tiffany says, thank you for that. I had to cut ties to a teacher who told me I won't evolve if I stay on meds. And so that instilling fear. Now, that wasn't necessarily an entity, but it was kind of one of those, the message probably didn't feel right within her,
Mhm.
and didn't feel like it was meant as her truth, probably.
Yeah.
Any comments on
Yeah,
that?
true for her.
Yeah,
Like,
true
it
for
could be
her.
true for other people.
Correct, right?
Well, I'm hearing from my team, and like my same message would be the same. Yeah, trusting your gut and your
Yeah,
heart and your
yeah.
instinct. And that's kind of a blanket statement. Now, I don't know the intricacies, how long they were
Sure.
working together, if they
Sure.
channeled it in, but if I was in that position, I would be like, why? Like, tell me the reasons behind what you're saying this. Like, give me the
Mhm.
mechanics. I need to understand.
Mhm.
And maybe there was like a miscommunication in the delivery of the message, which could have got deeper with it. Or if it was the other way, in which it's just a blanket statement, this is like how it is for everybody. I have a hard time with that because we
I
are
do
all
too.
individuals. Like
Yes,
there's not,
yes.
yeah, I have a hard
Yeah.
time with that.
I do
So
too.
trusting that, no, that doesn't feel accurate, and cutting ties, that's good in the fact that even maybe later it makes sense to you, but there's always little nuances in our experience. And I felt like when you cut ties, you were stepping up and like speaking for yourself, which is
Mm.
important. And it might have been healing something also within your system that goes like at a soul level. So but that feels good. I still feel like as I tune in, I still feel like there's thoughts that are like confusing, like not mine, but your thought, like her thoughts, like maybe some confusion around it and wondering if it's really true. And that can just be the energy subconscious, or it looks like cotton in the aura. So I would encourage you to do like a sound bath, breath work, something to clear the energy out of the aura. And it needs
Yes.
to be something that's got a physical component. So sound or breath work, like something to vibrate it out. Yeah, not like
Ooh,
not just
wow.
a shower of light visualization. It needs to have some
Mhm.
oomph, like some energy
Mhm.
behind it, and clear that out, and then just know, okay, that didn't feel good. That wasn't my energy. That wasn't my thought, and it was clouding the aura. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I feel that I would like to learn to be sound healer. I don't know why, but it's like strong wish to sing and to play.
Yeah.
So
Anybody that's interested in sound, go for it. The archangel Sandalphon, who works with it, but the other angels will come in, and the frequency, like each sound is a color, it's a dimension, it's a frequency. And when you have a pure sound and a tone, dissonant energy can't be in that space. It's one of the simplest ways to clear energy if you have a sound instrument. Now, we're not going to get into it, but you all know like how like music has been changed over time, and it creates that dissonant energy on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
So pure tones like your own voice or instrument, that will flow, like it'll get you into that space, and then messages and the clarity of the energy comes through so much cleaner. So yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. So
Go.
it was so big help because, of course, if someone doesn't know if it's true or not, and then give agreement, you can take me, and what happened? So it will be end of like they can do what they want with body, with soul, with yeah.
I think
Yes,
that's a
it
deeper
can be quite a
conversation.
yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome.
All
I didn't hear
right,
what you said.
Cheryl, you're up.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much for taking me. And you're just talking about so many great things, and actually things that I've been thinking about for a while. But I was just wondering, Amy, maybe you can help me and actually talk a little bit more about how we go about healing our light body, other than if there's anything else of what anything else that you've would recommend rather than anything that you've said so far. And then if you could just see if there's any rips or tears in my aura or energy field, because I just feel like I'm just picking up too much information from everybody else, and then it just gets confusing as to what's actually mine and what's somebody else's. So
Mhm.
I don't, if you could talk
Yeah.
about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm getting the message. I'm just closing my eyes for a minute because the energy is really strong over here. I think they're working on healing your aura right now. They're starting. Where to start? Okay, yes, for you, they want you to use essential oils on the body. So the physical body, the
Okay.
physical body is mirrored in the energy field. Like it's like a mirror, like the layer of everything in the body is also seen in the energy. And so when you do that, it's going to give you some really beautiful healing experiences.
Anything in particular? Is there a particular essential oil or
Well, they just, rose would be good for sure, and
rose?
lavender. But they say, start with one oil and use a carrier oil and just like oil your body every day. Just start with that. And then what I saw in the aura out in somewhat not on the edge of the aura, but close to, is like little scratches, that, and then you started saying there was so much energy that you were having to navigate around, and I think that's what it had created. So they're just saying, look, right now, like give yourself 3 weeks, turn off the radio, turn off the TV, pop off a social, like just go quiet and step out of those conversations that would overstimulate and overwhelm you so it can heal. And then use your discernment. If something is too much for you, just step aside, just like step aside from it. And just turn it off. So you do need to heal the energy field, and it's because of too much energy literally like grating on you. It kind of looks like if somebody took like their nails and just, you know, or like if you slid across gravel, it's just like surface level little scratches all along the aura. And that's what you'll be healing. So there's a lot of dimensions and aspects to the aura. And then, of course, we have the chakras and meridians and everything in energy. There's a whole energetic anatomy. And when we start to want to work psychically or in those spiritual spaces, it's important that it is healed. So for you, they're saying, and they're just saying juices, like real juice, not sugar, like
Okay.
nothing like that.
Right.
Concentrated small, like a little small glass every
Uh-huh.
day or every other day will help nourish you. And you can be creative with it, whatever your body's craving that day. But they are saying that as well. And there was something else I want to talk about with the energy field. Oh, just, you know, healing gets very, very important. So I lost the thought. That's what happens as a channel, like all this stuff's coming in, but maybe it'll come through in a minute.
That's okay, because I just feel like about this time last year, I had been working on myself like so much, just trying to open everything. And then actually what came through was just like screaming. And I think it scared me so much that I just really like shut myself down like after that. And I feel like my nervous system is just still like just overly reacting to everything. So I don't know how to heal that.
Well, I like to make a suggestion to have a Akashic healer work with you, Akashic record healer work with you, because when you said screaming, I mean, it is what it is, like not to scare or anything. It's not really scary, but it could be alarming in that moment. I'm feeling the energy of another life of yours that you opened and went into, one where you haven't received healing, that you were like in a space of calling for help. And that's what I got for you, if that helps you. I'd work with an Akashic or past life healer to
Okay.
help heal this lifetime that I saw.
Right, because this is actually a pattern, is that I keep going and asking for help, and then it just turns into nothing, or it doesn't come. So that makes a lot of sense to me, and I am definitely gonna get right on that, and I appreciate you greatly. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Cheryl. And by the way, Amy described exactly what Leonka does. She does past life regression and she does the Akashic record. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I know you want to.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow on the call Wednesday. All right, Amy, let's share how they can work with you to learn more about channeling.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
so we have a special too.
Yeah, we're going to open it up right now. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm excited. So I do teach a full in-depth channeling class at Spirit School called Learn to Channel. What we're offering is something really nice. It's like an intro into that. So there's a mini master class on channeling. I'm teaching like the basics 101, and there's a workbook and some PDF handouts. So if you scroll down, I think it's it's this one, The Art of Channeling. And so what my special is it's a package with 3 workshops. So this is the master class, Art of Channeling, the foundations. And then the next one is really fun. I love this one. This is a channeling. Well, it's a meditation to prepare you to channel. And then also it's a Q&A. So I wrote this book, The Ultimate Guide to Channeling. And back when I wrote it, I held like a bonus call for those who pre-ordered, and it's all the questions. Like we really got into some great conversations.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. So it's information and an experience. And then the next one included is I believe it's the relay. This is the relay channeling. This is my friend who teaches the class with me, the big program. But this is an intro into channeling, and we do demonstrations and we talk about relay channeling. It's a recording also of a live call. So there's a lot of like community questions, and I love learning from other people's questions. So these are like really well-rounded, amazing experiences to help you, to give you some guidance and not only the information and the checklist and the books, the book information, but the experience to start to
Yeah.
feel what it can feel like, and what does it feel like to be in a quiet, safe, calm space, because that's where we want to start. So yeah, this is a great way if you're interested and you just like kind of want to take a little step forward. There's no pressure, it's self-paced. And yeah, so you can get that here on the How Hustle Live.
Yeah, it's on the live page, howhustle.com/live under Amy's picture. If you click the little link to the special offer.
It's a yellow button.
Mhm.
But and for those who are listening and on the replay, you can also visit howhustle.com/Amy. And but we really encourage you to go to the live page. So that's howhustle.com/live. So you can see the actual replays and all of the different places and things that you can see for the dashboard. Amy's special offer here. I channel, and I too am like, wow, this is something that I would love to learn more about. I like the questions, and she's right. I learned so much from people's questions, just like we've had here today. But these are specifically about how to channel, how to feel comfortable, the different things that she talked about, but much more in depth, so that way we don't get distracted by tricksters or by other entities or someone that's trying to give you information that is really not for you. So it just helps to discern, which is so important, and to really open up and to trust what you're receiving.
And clear out some of the limitations and points of view to why you aren't channeling or can't channel whatever it is. I'm sure is in there too.
It's, I mean, 3 master classes for that pricing, and it's definitely valued much more. But she's sweet to let us offer that to you today. So if you feel called, please do check out that special offer.
We had a previous offer from Amy's about chakras, and each one we were just like, oh, a chakra, it's an energy, it's a meditation for each one or something. No, like each one went down into depth. We would be like opening these boxes, and we're like, oh, Amy has a very, very deep quartz here. I guess that you don't, Miriam said, manifesting generators, we like to skip steps. Well, I get that. I don't know if you're a manifesting generator or not, but you don't skip steps.
You don't want to. No, not in this. Yeah.
I have a lot of questions when it comes to channeling and chakras, like all of the stuff that I do. I ask a lot of questions because I want the safety, right?
Yes.
And I pass all what I've learned along. The safety and also like the refinement. Am I doing this like the best level? But Jenith, you reminded me what I wanted to share. What came back was like this whole concept. If you broke your leg, you have a broken leg, you have a leg, but you have a broken leg, and somebody's like, well, go run a marathon. You're like, wait a minute, right? So if something's off in the anatomy of the chakras and the aura, like you have a hole, a chakra's out of balance, go channel. Okay. But it's like it's not in sync. It's not flowing. There could be a reason also. So that's why I say start with your energetic health first. Like it all starts here first. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Well, time has flown. Let's see. Just any parting words for us today?
I did have another resource if anybody is interested in channeling specific. My podcast, I talk about it, but all of season 1 on the Spirit and Soul Healing Show is dedicated to channeling.
Nice.
Season 2 is going to be out in probably a month, and it's going to be energy healing. So like there's resources. And then when you're ready, and like this offer is amazing. Like if it was me, I would take the offer.
Me too.
Because we go through so much, but there's a lot of support out here. And I would say find a mentor and people that you really connect with when you're doing anything. So especially channeling, somebody who's experienced and knows how to discern and work with energy. And I'm one, obviously, but there's so many others. So you go who you feel comfortable with. And so the final message that they want to really bring home is like, there's kind of like a gut check. So first check your gut. How does this message sound? whatever the question is. If you're getting an intuitive message, how does it feel? If somebody's offering you a service, how does that feel? And then analyze that. Because sometimes I know I'm like, oh, but it's butterflies. Why are there butterflies? Oh, because I'm supposed to do it and it's going to push me out of my comfort zone, right? Like that's a different energy than a hard no. And then they say, and then let it come to your heart. What is your heart saying? Okay, so feel it at the heart. Is it time? Is this for me? Is it like, so for me, it was like, I don't know where this is going to lead, but something's calling me. And I would take that step, whatever it might be, like when we can't see the end or around the corner. And then the next is the mind. Does it make sense? Does it analytically make sense? Do you have any questions? Get your questions answered, before you take a step forward. But so that's what the program does. I think it's going to answer a lot of questions. And if you're feeling called to it, yeah, it's a great special. So thank you for
Yeah.
letting me come on and join. It was such a gift to connect again
Oh,
today.
Yay.
Oh my gosh, Amy, you're so
A
amazing.
couple of comments. It says Amy has a great teaching style. She said that she took the tracker course and it was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amy. Such a great info. Love today's call. Thank you so much. Exclamation
Lots-
points. Yeah.
Wow.
Lots of beautiful love here.
Aw,
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Somebody even said, wow, thank you. It stuck me for many years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That
Oh,
was a
lots of
great call.
hearts.
I think it's so interesting how when people raise up their hands, it's all about, okay, your hand is raised. Like, who do I call next? And I feel like I'm even guided who goes next.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the mystique comes first.
Because it's part of their membership. It is.
But even with that, I think that there's within the group, there's a guidance, but I really felt like some of the brave souls that came forward to ask a question really has moved the conversation forward.
Absolutely.
I love that
Absolutely.
when that happens.
Yes. And not that we would ever try to cut anyone off from from finishing their question. Most of the time, the guides had already, just like in Amy's case with Lana, had already started speaking to Amy to relay information. And sometimes we can get stuck more in our story than actually with our question. So we try to be very succinct, and it's taken learning. It's taken me a long time to learn how to try to really get into the crux of my question. And good thing that Lana did ask the more detailed question, because I know that it was very it was beneficial for the whole group. I mean, there were
agreed.
Yeah, it was divinely guided, y'all, like most things on this show. Exciting.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So we've got about 10 or 10-ish minutes between sessions. So if you need a little break to go get a snack, to go take a
Refresh
very
your water.
cold drink water, please drink water. You're taking a break.
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead and cover. I'm going next though.
Okay. We're done at that. I'll be fast.
Just a reminder, you guys, we have a live event coming up November 7th through 9th in Austin, Texas. If you're interested in it, you can email us at team@houthustle.com. There's event details on the event page at houthustle.com/live. And there's a little link under Lianca's and I picture on that live page. We will also, just a few things to look forward to in this event and in this conversation. This Friday, we are having Adam Apollo, who has been one of the teachers that I've really gained some knowledge and information from. So please make sure you mark your calendar for that. And tomorrow, Lianca and I are going to do a conversation where you get to learn a little bit about us. As I mentioned in Amy's call, Lianca does some past life regression work, and she also does the reading of the Akashic records to help you unearth what's going on inside of your deep mind and energy. I don't even have anyone to laugh with anymore. we will also be talking about our inner circle tomorrow. Some of the work that I've done, I do hands-on body work. You can see all of that also on the live page at houthustle.com/event. And Lianka is back, so I will hand over the mic system here. I hope you guys are having fun. We like to kind of get you in the giggles instead of in like the tears of
we have fun
personal
here.
development.
Yes. I mean, look, there is space for that, but we also
Absolutely.
like to have fun here as well.
Yeah.
Any comments for you? What, oh yes, very fun. And yeah, I'm excited. I always laugh with you girls. Oh, yay. Yeah, laughing's my favorite thing to do. Like out of everything in this
Yes.
whole world. Like, I'm pretty sure that's why I came to Earth. Like, what do you want to do, Lianka? What's your purpose? I was like, laugh. And it's honestly truth. Any comments or anything that I can help facilitate for you while we have about 15 minutes? Any questions? What's coming up for you? You can write it on the chat. I can zero in and we can do a little bit of back and forth there, and I can do a little facilitation while we wait, or we can just continue to have fun and chill because I have a cookie that I'd love to eat. Jenna did tell you about, oh, here's one thing I'd love to share. So I got this really funny comment that was someone wrote into the email, and it was basically, I hate your name. And I was like, well, that's how I heard it in my head, right? And it was like, I hate the name of the show. And I'm imagining it was the How Hustle, right? And she said, I think the words was, I feel like I am being, my money's getting taken by the French. And I thought that was so funny. And I went on to explain how we view How Hustle. And first of all, my premise is if you feel charged by something, like if I was to say the FUCK word, right? And if I was to say it out loud right now, if something bothered you about that particular word, or if something has a charge on it, it might be something that you could explore and why you feel some type of way about it. And you might be able to kind of utilize that feeling in order to transmute something that may have happened in your past. Maybe somebody used that word inappropriately, things like that. So for this particular individual, they were being charged with the words how and the words hustle. And I wanted to explain that. And I went on to I was saying that, I don't know if you read it, but it was like some lady said that she felt like she was being, I guess, hustled by the French, or somebody was going to take her money, right, by the French. And what I explained to all the different speakers that come onto the show and stuff like that is we really wanted to take two ideologies and two terms, two codes, if you will, and really redefine what they would mean in today's terms. And today's hout, today the way they use the word hout is usually with like fashion or what's hot, haute couture in that way. And I wanted to take this, and Jenna, we wanted to see this as more of today's hout, right? So today's hout and today's hustle. So today's hout is all about no longer is what's hot and fresh and cool and trending just about luxury for luxury's sake. Today's hout is all about products, services, ideas, speakers, thoughts that are really beneficial for our bodies, the earth, new earth, for facilitating sustainability, that are healthier, things that'll make me, you, the community better. So that's what's hot, right? You may spend a little bit.
Also the energy and the frequency of like really strutting your stuff,
Right,
being all of
right. And then feeling good while doing it, because you're
being on purpose.
Right. And you're feeling yourself with good ideas, with things that benefit others. You're not just about yourself, you're about the community. You can know that you trust the products and that you're putting into your body, on your skin, that kind of thing. And yeah, you may pay a little bit of a premium for it, but it is for the betterment of all, right? And so that was kind of the idea there. And then the other idea around hustle was really more of not work your fingers to the bone, like Dolly Parton's 9 to 5, like, hustle. The hustle, today's hustle is all about a dance. It has its own inertia. It has it's a movement. It's through collaboration because it is for the betterment of all and for New Earth and for each other. So really, we wanted to take again these concepts and really bring them into the New Earth, into the new, in today's times, and to view things that may have gotten a charge in the way that people are using them, and really bring them in, morphing into the energies of where we want to be. And so that's what, with a higher timeline, honestly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was funny.
This is a good one to speak to as well, the yawning.
Yeah, because I'm
Because it took me a while to know what that actually was.
I yawn all the time, y'all. It's so embarrassing, especially like live on a show. It's like there'd be a speaker and I'm like, oh,
It's a contribution. But yes.
but now that I know, right? Now that people know, but
Now
go
that
ahead.
people know what it really
Yeah.
is.
I had my friends who were like,
releasing the unconsciousness of and some of the points of view that you have around some of the things that we're talking about. It's just simply that.
see?
Man, that really had a point of view about yawning. And did you see how she said, it's embarrassing, I have to apologize for it.
I know. I used to feel that. I do feel like that sometimes, because if you don't know, if you're watching me just yawn in front of a speaker, they're like, gosh, she doesn't take anybody seriously. She's just typing on her computer the whole time.
That is kind of the old school way. And now I think I know what it means. And I think it's a contribution to the whole group. I'm like, yes, you're getting out this energy for all of us. Thank you very much.
Yes. And if you see me doing anything on the computer, it's because I'm running the live chat.
Yeah.
So I read the live chat, and I also do that for YouTube as well. So behind the scenes, I'm being a little producer over here, if you will.
Yeah, we've got Quentin on next. And
I'm excited
oh my
about Quentin.
gosh,
Yes.
this is going to be quite a different conversation from what we've had before. But when somebody comes highly recommended by an already authority and speaker within this industry, you often pay attention.
Yeah.
And Quentin has not just done a phenomenal job of communicating a very strange way of healing, but he has also helped a lot of people. And it was just an honor that Fallon Jordan was the one that recommended that he join the group for a deeper conversation about health. He works in, I think it's pronounced ideology.
Okay. Ideology.
Irology. He can
Oh,
correct us.
yes.
He just joined the line.
Yeah. I'm going to let him say it.
It's ideology. And I've done a class on it even years and years and years ago, just one little intro thing. And they look at your eyes and they can tell you what's going on. It's quite an interesting science.
Is it to eradicate, maybe? I could be making up stuff. She's the nutritionist. I'm like
No.
I did computer information science and business. That was like way far from nutrition. So there you go. And I learned everything from Jenith all the time. So if you see me doing something that doesn't look so healthy, and I have a cookie there that she probably wouldn't approve of, but because it's got like
some sort of artificial sugar in it. Oh my gosh. And the weird thing is she doesn't even know what artificial sugar is in it. That drives me crazy. I'm like,
sorry.
And then she complains that she has stomach things.
See, you're right. There's
falls out.
I am. You and Quentin are probably going to have a good time on this one. But I don't know what I don't know. And now that I'm learning, then it takes a different mind shift. And I think maybe as you're listening to us, everyone here with this next speaker, what are those shifts that you might have to be asking yourself of where can I make that shift? Am I even willing to?
Right.
And so that's, so thank you for saying baby steps to go healthy.
I think so. I mean, you got rid of all your plastic cups.
We did. We did. And well, part of it was because I just didn't even have any knowledge of it. And then I started reading about all the plastics that are in the oceans and how there's no place on earth where you can't go and how
Yeah, but that's one reason, but it also
Yes.
messes with your hormones.
See, I didn't know that either. I just got rid of them because Jenna said to.
That stuff just lays around in the back of my world.
It really does. And that's why we're so happy that you do the morning brew with Woo in talking about
Yeah.
some of the alternatives. I mean, she says she has a UTI or whatever.
Like-
and I'm like, here's an antibiotic, right? Like that I have in my purse, y'all.
Just like, take this. And I'm
They-
like, no, it's not that bad yet. I'm gonna do this natural Manos way.
I don't even want to talk about it. Anyway, but she will show me like different ways and alternate medicine that is available and supplements that is available. In my mind, I always kind of be like, I don't know if that works. Yet I do this work here with y'all and want to be the healthiest that I can be.
It's a frequency.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, everything's a frequency.
So just know that if you are far from taking in some of these ideas, I'm right here with you.
Yeah.
And I'm on this journey with you too. So and I do ask my guides to help me, and I ask them to bring in more. And let's just take a breath right now, like, and ask our guides and our spirit guides to, and our higher selves, to just allow in and open our minds to whatever it is that is called to be seated, that helps to change and that helps to change the ideas that we may have so solidified in our minds about how we view any of the concepts that we're receiving today, and how we view even the nutrition and food that we put in our bodies, and how we even interact with others here in this world and on this line. So just dropping into our heart space, and again, just being open, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it interesting that, I mean, I have a clear point of view that I want to do this naturally. And Lianka has a clear point of view that Western medicine works like that. And yet, we can come together and see each other's point of view.
Yes.
And we can also see them here and go, okay, well, what else? And what needs to be required? What am I called to hear next? What am I called to choose next?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, as a choice.
That's actually
Yeah.
beautiful that you really pointed that out, so that we can point it out for all of y'all.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole reason for the show, right?
Yeah.
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 Awesome. Well, we got 3 minutes. Take a breath and settle in. Get your water. I'm gonna get mine.
And I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording so we can go wild. Don't you think that people just want to watch the live to see how we go wild between they're watching it and they just want to hit one speaker and they're just watching that one speaker. See, I should have had this on recording.
That's what we always say. I should be recording this.
They just wanted to watch that one speaker, and now they're going to be like, wow, they went wild on the live. I'm
Yeah.
Like, no. I can only hope. Thank you for your beautiful comments.
Yeah.
Katie, learning about all the bad crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I studied nutrition in school, so that's why it feels innate to me.
Yeah.
And then I would read things and I'd be like, oh yeah, I learned a little bit of that in school, and now I'm glad it's really changed from when I learned it in school.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because y'all were probably talking about stuff that was
Like the standard pyramid. Eat all the carbs first.
Say anything about the time frame. And then just to give you an idea, but like even the concepts that we do here in spirituality, right? Like you'll hear something. I remember looking up chakras probably, I don't know, maybe 13 years ago. And my husband Roy was like making fun of it, kind of like he's like, "Oh, what did it call again? A chakra, a chancla?" And I'm like, "No, it's not a chancla. It's your chakras." And
You get chocolate with that chakra?
and I was like, "Oh, okay." But to see how things have really, and then the EFT tapping, to see how things have now like really become mainstream is fascinating. So I'm sure that must be happening for you when you see different concepts come finally emerge, and the stuff that you might have even intuitively known whenever you were taking the courses back then as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Neat. Very neat. Well, I'm excited about y'all's conversation, and I'll chime in here.
Great. We'll get started in just a second.
Green. Tiffany says, my husband teases me with the mercury microwave. Yeah, I think there's a lot of little teasing going on. It's love. It's all love.
All right, here we go, you guys. Okay, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeneth Blackford.
And I'm Leonka Reina.
And this is the How Hustle Mystic Morning Show. Today we're talking with Quentin Green, and we are talking about green health and wellness. And the main focus of his business is, and I might bastardize this word, but it's ideology, I believe. And he can correct me as I know very little about it, just enough to know that it's really, truly a technique and a way to immediately find out what's going on in your system.
A little bit about Quentin. Quentin is the founder of the Green Health and Wellness Regenerative Detoxification Specialist, then a radiologist, healing coach, and has after overcoming years of chronic illness through holistic detoxification and regeneration, he dedicated the past 5 years to helping others reclaim their health naturally. His mission is to guide and empower you to help heal deeply and restore balance and step into your highest self. Hi, Quentin. Welcome. We're excited to have you.
Hi, ladies. How are you? Certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, yes. And so I've been talking up your conversation. Jeneth is our resident nutritionist, and I'm probably will play the role of some of the participant that may not be so knowledgeable. So I'm excited to learn more today as well. I remember speaking with you during our pre-call, and the conversation you were having with me gave me a sense of empowerment, but it was through the conversation that I was able to reach that discernment for myself. Can you just a little bit briefly tell us about like how you came into this work? Because I know you have a really unique story in and of itself.
Yeah, well, I came into this world sick. You know, I knew what chronic illness was. I didn't know it was chronic illness as a child, but I had symptoms right from the very start, and spent pretty much the first 35 years of my life suffering with a plethora of different chronic illnesses, symptoms, and conditions. And at one point, I guess it was about, I'm 43 now, at 32, I kind of hit rock bottom, where I just realized I was like, I've got to do something different here. I looked at the one constant my entire life, and that was the allopathic medicine world. I went to doctors and I did what they told me. I took the medications they told me, and dealt with what they told me to deal with. And I just gotten fed up with it. And I went down the rabbit hole of the alternative world and just trying to find answers and a way to heal. And it led me ultimately to regenerative detoxification and iridology. You can call it iridology or iridology.
Okay.
But yeah, I basically learned what the true troublemakers were, the true causes of why we are struggling with chronic illness, disease, and cancer today. What's really happening, the stuff that's gotten inside of our bodies that doesn't belong there, and most importantly, how to get rid of it, how to detoxify. And while I'm, detoxifying, I'm regenerating tissue. When you get toxins and pathogens and different bad things in your body, different tissue, it weakens your tissue. And so a huge part of, you can't go in and detoxify without starting to regenerate tissue and rebuilding the function on a cellular level. And through regenerative detoxification is when I came across iridology and learned that fascinating technique, and realized that, the iris has been reflecting our systemic health. Everything that's happened inside of our bodies on a cellular level, the state of our tissue, has been relayed by means of the autonomic nervous system and displayed in the iris of the eye. The iris is literally a window into our insides, and it's been recording everything that we've been experiencing. Everything, the state of our tissue has been recorded from the time that we were conceived. And now when I have clients that are healing, we can watch their eyes change as they heal. So the iris will reflect healing, just like it shows when tissue is weakening and the person's becoming more ill, we would say. So it's, at first when I saw it, I was like, well, this looks interesting. And once I got into it a little bit, my clients think when I do iridology, sometimes they think I'm like some kind of wizard. Like I don't know anything about them. And I could look right in and tell with great accuracy what they have going on, things that only they know. Things that I have no idea about, and I can tell them with great accuracy, kind of. So it's fascinating, and it helps me to get my clients better, faster, more efficiently, in a much quicker manner than I was able to prior to knowing iridology.
Yeah, tell us some of the detoxing stories and journeys that some of your clients have been through.
Well, I mean, I've been adding to my list of different things I've gotten healed up in people. I just had my first cancer. We had early stage leukemia, and this young lady, young mom of two, went at it completely naturally, and she just got her clean bill of health maybe 2-3 months ago. So we're in cancer now. All your basic chronic illnesses, we go after brain fog, chronic fatigue, anxieties, GI issues, reproductive system issues, autoimmune. These are all easy fixes now. When you get the right information and you learn how to go in and properly detoxify different areas of the body. So yeah, there's no limits. So some of the more interesting, I would say I had a great case with trigeminal neuralgia, which is, in medical science, we're told that is pretty much a lifelong sentence. So there's no getting better from that. That was a very neat one. A lot of vaccine injury. I'll be honest with you. I do a lot of people with vaccine injury now, and we're getting them detoxified from that shot that everyone just had. So a lot of stuff. The result of COVID and that shot as well has been a big part of my business in the past couple of years as well. A lot of autism and ADHD, migraines, insomnia, all these things, so I don't care what someone has going on. If they do what I tell them, we get them detoxifying and start pulling the stuff out of their body that they weren't aware it was in there. Imaging doesn't show it. Blood work's not showing it. But we get in, we start pulling the stuff out and start to regenerate tissue. They start getting better, off medications, out of doctor's offices, getting their quality of life comes back. So.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about detoxing. I've had a client when I was doing nutrition work that was trying to detox, and she was just eating a lot of greens and things like that. And when I was working with her, it was very clear to me that that wasn't her way of detoxing. Like she had just made an assumption that this is what she needs to do to detox. It seems that there are a lot of different detoxification protocols, and I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what detoxing a heavy metal is versus maybe something for somebody who has gut issues that have been taking antibiotics for their entire life.
Yeah, well, look, detoxification, when done properly, will pull anything out of the body that doesn't belong there. It could be bacteria and parasites in someone's GI tract, or it could be mercury sitting in someone's midline canal of the brain causing their ADHD and autism. What most people don't, there's a lot of detoxification is very popular right now, and everyone thinks that they know how to detox properly, and there's a lot of different ideas about it. Most of them are incorrect. Most people don't know how to effectively detoxify, because the main thing is with detoxification, you have to have your detoxification pathways open. And that has everything to do with your lymphatic system and everything to do with your kidneys, which are your main eliminative organ. That was something that, your lymphatic system relies on the kidneys as well as someone's skin and sweat. But kidneys and urine is your main way of detoxification. When you're talking about cellular and metabolic waste, toxins, pathogens in the body, these things go into the lymphatic system, and that's the main way that we're getting rid of this stuff. So, people do a lot of different detoxification things, but they don't have their kidneys opened up and strengthened and filtering properly to get their lymphatic systems moving. So you might be able to dislodge toxins, and you can move stuff around, but it doesn't mean it's getting out of the body properly and efficiently. A lot of people end up doing things like lymphatic massage or rebounding or some new trendy detox diet or supplement, and they end up feeling worse a lot of the time because they can move stuff around, they can dislodge stuff and get stuff moving, but it has nowhere to go. Their kidneys aren't filtering properly. The lymphatic system is still backed up, and the skin's often toxic and underactive as well. So even when they do sweat, they're not doing a good job of getting rid of this waste, these troublemakers that have gotten into their body. So critical to go after your kidneys and your liver as well. Your liver is very, very critical in terms of detoxification. But getting those areas up and running and working properly are very essential to proper detoxification. And a lot of people don't understand that part of it.
Yeah. If you get a detox headache, is that when you've just dislodged things and moving things around? Or is
sometimes,
that okay.
Sometimes, look, my clients, there's detox symptoms are a part of healing.
Yes.
It's my job to take my clients through that in a way that they can manage their life and still do what they have to do without having. Hence, we slowly detoxify people. Something else that happens here, people jump into some of these detoxes. They don't quite know what they're doing. And, let me tell you, people's livers are loaded with poisons and problematic troublemakers. When you detoxify too quickly, the liver will release excessive amounts of poison out into the body. The body's not capable, not prepared to disarm these poisons and have open pathways to get it out of the body. So the liver is forced to go back out and pull all these poisons out that it just released back into it. A job that's very hard for it, very hard on it, and often makes a person feel really lousy.
Yeah.
Other detox symptoms could be anything. When a client comes to me and they have a list of symptoms, I'm saying, look, first off, as you're detoxing, anything you're dealing with currently has the ability to get a little bit worse. It can flare up. Your anxiety, if you have an anxiety issue, it can flare up when you're healing. And then all of a sudden it'll get better. Then it'll flare up again, but then it gets even better. Could be fatigue, could be brain fog, could be headaches. Could be, I have a lot of clients that break out with acne. We're pushing strep out of their body, the true cause of acne. So they'll have breakouts. Cold sores. I had a client message me this morning. She's about 2 weeks in the detox and she has styes in her eye, which is more strep bacteria, true cause of a sty. So there could be any number of detoxification symptoms, but my job as the detoxification coach is to make sure we take them through it in a way that works for them. Unless, of course, someone comes to me in a very dire situation, like we're talking late stage disease, early stage cancer, then sometimes you just have to accelerate and push through some really nasty detox symptoms. So when it gets to be certain situations, but most people, we can detoxify them over the course of 4 or 5 months in a way that works for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can we talk a little bit about how we would get our kidneys and liver slowly prepared and slowly detoxing when we dislodge some of these toxins? Like, is there a regular protocol, or does everyone have an individual protocol?
Everything is personalized. Everyone's got different. And that's the beauty of iridology. I can look right in and see what organs, glands, and body systems are struggling the most. So with that, along with a very in-depth health questionnaire on their symptomology, kind of what they had going on, we combine that with the iridology so we can target areas of the body that we need to really go in and fix. But in general, dietary changes are key. Obviously, anyone knows that processed food is not going to help anyone heal from anything. Food chemicals and additives and all these different things. And people know that these refined sugars are bad. You've got bad fats. So we know all these things, but there's a lot of foods that people are consuming that they think are healing foods that are actually fueling pathogens in their body, making their body more acidic and keeping that toxic, acidic environment. The number one food I'll tell you that most people think is healing, that is an absolute nightmare if you have chronic illness, disease, or cancer, it's eggs.
Really?
I mean, there's nothing worse than eating an egg if you're struggling with any type of condition or illness. So if you want to get you can talk about any organ or gland, you want to get off eggs. If you want to try to get better from something. And look, I used to be a big egg eater before I had the right information. And the years I ate all the eggs in my weightlifting years, I didn't correlate it, but all my chronic illnesses were slowly but surely growing over those years.
Wow.
I just didn't have the right information. People wonder why eggs are protein. Eggs are a ball of hormones, when you think about it.
They really are.
What about like if you get them from Vital Farms
but even still
like your neighbor's chicken?
Yeah.
No, it's no different. Okay.
I'm glad you asked that though.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're going to eat an egg, you want to eat a free range. If you go eat a conventional egg, from what it's an absolute nightmare. With what they do with how they raise chickens now. So you want something that's free range and organic, of course, but nonetheless, that doesn't change what constitutes an egg. And an egg is still always going to be a ball of hormones. And here's the thing, back in classified medical research and science, back in the early 1900s, when they were learning how to raise pathogens, viruses and bacteria, in laboratories, they found that viruses and bacteria did very well in an egg medium. The viruses would proliferate and mutate and grow along with bacteria, did very well in that egg medium because in that egg medium, there's hormones. It's a ball of hormones, which fuels pathogens in the body. So they started to mutate and play with pathogens, and then they started to release them through the 30s and 40s on humans. They started to release them into society. So an egg initially wasn't a bad thing, but when they started to mutate an egg became a problem, no longer a healing food.
Wow. It's funny that you said the timeline, because in the 80s, I remember my mom coming home and actually saying her OBGYN told her to start eating an egg because of the hormones. So, and that was exactly the timeline almost, which should have made us go, no.
Yeah. Look, the worst thing, especially for a woman, the worst thing you could be doing is consuming a lot of eggs.
Wow, I used to eat a lot of eggs.
The last thing you need is additional hormones.
Yeah.
And look,
I don't
an egg
even
actually,
hormones.
look, we're told all the time to avoid anything like meats that have the added hormones. We're told all the time to avoid hormones, but we're told to eat the most prolific hormone of them all. It's an egg. It's straight hormones. You call it organic. It's an unborn, but it's still hormones, and it's still going to fuel pathogens in your body.
Wow.
And and the fat in it is not great either. It doesn't help your liver out. It's just one of those trendy things out there that a lot of people have misconceptions about.
Of course.
And there's some people who will always eat an egg. They'll never stop. They're always going to think eggs are healing. But I'm telling you, if you've got real chronic illness, you got to lay off the eggs.
Okay. What are some of the other foods that people wouldn't normally think about?
Well, so look, I don't subscribe to any trendy diet. I'm not vegan. I'm not carnivore. I'm not paleo. I'm not any of these things. I just know what someone needs to do to heal. But when it comes to meats, unlike something like an egg, at least meat won't feed a pathogen in someone's body. The one meat I do like people to get rid of, though, is pork. Pork is a special kind of toxic fat that is incredibly hard on someone's liver and just breaking down, digesting. The liver has to produce incredibly strong, excessive amounts of bile to break down pork fat. So pork in general is just very toxic, so that's the one meat I really like to see clients move away from. You can't heal eating pork every day, so that would be one. Obviously, like we talked about, all your refined sugars, your cane sugars and your corn syrups and all the different seed oils. We know most of these things are not good. So they're all things I like to see people get rid of. Dairy is obviously a problem for people. Dairy will feed pathogens in the body as well.
Yeah, I took my son off of dairy when he was really little because there was milk, right? And he would get phlegmos, the Spanish word, like a congestion. And so whenever he had that phlegm, I knew that something just innately told me like, it's the milk, Lianka. And so then I put him like on almond milk, which probably is not that much better, but like at least it wasn't the hormonal, infused milk that we are getting delivered today. And that helped. Like it really, like he didn't have that coughing all night.
Well, here's what happened. He had an underlying Streptococcus bacteria in him.
Now
Strep
he
bacteria.
has STIs, and you said that's strep too.
Well,
but he's 13 now,
Sure.
And they just had a sty removal surgery.
and
for him,
he's
right?
getting them pretty. Yeah, he's getting.
Yeah, that's all strep. Strep is your chronic sinusitis. Strep is your upper respiratory. Strep is your celiac, your SIBO, your IBS. Strep loves the stomach. Strep also loves the reproductive system, especially in women. It's a true cause of bacterial vaginosis, yeast infections, UTIs. That's all strep down there. Strep's also the true cause of cystic acne. So strep is, and by the way, strep has become antibiotic resistant.
Yeah.
So we have over 50 subgroups of strep now. Strep is stronger than ever. And strep is also the #1 cofactor or best friend of Epstein-Barr virus. So they roll through the body together. But dairy feeds strep like no other. Strep loves to consume dairy. And when it consumes that dairy, feeds a strep, that strep bacteria will release that dairy as a bacterial waste. More damning. It's not so much that dairy does damage to the body. Dairy feeds a pathogen. It feeds viruses and bacteria in the body. Then they go to the bathroom into your body. And so that bacterial waste is what causes the inflammation, and then results in excess mucus because the body will create more mucus in response to inflammation to keep the tissue safe. So he's bringing in that dairy, feeding his strep. It's creating bacterial waste, and he ends up all mucusy. With sinuses and then you take the dairy away and you stop feeding that bacteria. Now, it won't make the bacteria go away because you have to go antibacterial and do things to get rid of it. But starting to starve it is one of the first important processes in order to get on top of a strep-related issue.
Good. Thank you. Wow.
I guess I didn't realize that strep was also like vaginosis.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah, strep loves the woman's reproductive system. It gets down in there and really causes a lot of problem down there.
Yeah, sure.
Also, the true cause of cystitis. Most people don't know. Cystitis is strep bacteria.
I don't know what that is.
It's a bladder. It's interstitial cystitis is a bladder issue in people. But all your GI issues too. That strep sitting in that stomach down in there in the intestinal tract, feeding off different foods a person eats, creating different waste. And look, you can go get any GI, you go depending on what doctor you go to, you'll get a different GI diagnosis, whether it's leaky gut or SIBO or celiac or Crohn's. That's all strep related with some Epstein-Barr virus in there.
Interesting. Wow.
Someone asked, so when you were talking about everyone being different, and you were talking about detoxification, she said, so Lianka and Jeneth could have the same symptoms but different treatment plans? ?
Well, look, I mean, essentially, yes. The diet doesn't change the whole lot. How to detoxify someone. The same theories are behind it, and Do I like certain foods, certain healing foods better for different people? Absolutely. Do I like different herbs and supplements for different people? Absolutely. And that's based off what each person has going on. So you might have some things that overlap with someone else,
Yeah.
but what's going on in your body? Everyone has a different collection of troublemakers that have entered their body. That's from
Yeah.
what mom and dad passed down to them. Mom and dad passed down their troublemaker loads, especially mom, the child. But then you pick up new pathogens and toxins live in life. People are exposed to different things. They have different diets. It comes from different different drinking waters. So
Yeah.
everyone has their own special collection of troublemakers that get in the body. Like, for example, no two people on this planet have the exact same depression. No two people have the exact same anxiety disorder.
Interesting. Very good point.
Because every little toxin that makes up the path is a little bit different, and no one has the exact same makeup when it comes to the troublemakers that have entered their body, and then where they have gotten in the body, what part of the brain, what part of the liver, what part of this and that. So everyone's different in that way, but the overall detoxification process doesn't change too much. We just fine tune it for each person so they can heal faster depending on what they have going on.
Yeah. What are some of the tips that you start your clients on? Like, just number one, everyone needs to do this.
Well, a good one to always start your day is with some lemon water. I like lemon water for anyone. Of course, some people have, a sensitivity to lemons, and there's reasons for that, but we fix that. But ultimately, lemon water or lime water is a great way to start your day. Great to get in that liver and start to break things up and loosen stuff up. It's great for hydration. And also, lemons and limes are very astringent, which means they can go in and they can actually extract toxins and things from tissue. You like some of those really astringent fruits in that way. So I like lemon water. I also like my clients to reduce their fat intake, especially in the mornings. Everyone does way too much dietary fat, and the fat is beating our livers up. Our livers are really overrun and become sluggish and stagnant. They're just overrun with dietary fats, because it's their job. It's the liver's job to break down your dietary fat. And people do fat all day long now. And I don't even care if it's obviously bad fats are super bad, but people overdo their good fats too. Too much olive oil, too many nuts, too many seeds, too much avocado.
Okay.
Wow.
Some people don't want to hear that.
Well, I'm the one that does that all.
Yeah, I do a lot.
All the olive oil. My family was Italian. I mean, I'm like, give me arugula, some cranberries, and a ton of olive oil. So I'm hearing you now.
It's just, look, is a little bit of healthy fats good for you? For sure. No problem. But we just overdo them. The body doesn't need fat that way. We're told our brains are all fat and fat runs this and that. That's all nonsense.
Okay.
The brain, the body runs off glucose. It runs off glycogen.
Yeah.
So the fat intake in this world right now is extraordinary. Plenty of bad fats. But even like I said, I have vegan clients who come to me, vegans who are struggling, who don't do a lot of that other stuff, but they're all on the high fat diets, and they don't realize it. They're still doing way too much fat. And so cutting back on your dietary fat intake is something I'd like to see all my clients do to start as well. When your liver gets maxed out with junk and fats and you can't break down your fat anymore, people don't realize too, the true cause of weight gain is a liver that's become sluggish and stagnant and maxed out. It can no longer produce good, strong bile to break down dietary fat. So fat starts to escape that liver. And doctors don't realize this. Before there's ever a fatty liver, there is a pre-fatty liver. There's a pre-fatty liver.
Wow.
And so fat starts to escape because the liver can't break down the fat properly anymore. It has no more storage space in it to hold on to that fat. Fat starts to escape into the bloodstream. It's your true cause of weight gain. So how someone's weight is and inability to lose weight, that's the state of their liver. And they need to, so thyroid gets a lot, but it controls metabolism, but that has nothing to do with why people are so heavy these days and struggling. We're generally a fairly overweight society now.
Yeah.
And that's because everyone's walking around with livers that are banged up. and not
Yeah,
doing
because
their job properly.
they're eating processed foods all the time.
or they
and then
drink a lot.
or they drink. Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just the alcohol and the bad foods.
Yeah,
People don't
yeah.
realize every time that you're exposed to a toxin in life, that your liver will go grab that toxin and pull it inside of it to keep you safe. So it's not reaching your heart and your brain. So our livers are constantly being, asked to take care of the toxin loads in our body and store them to keep us safe. We have storage bins in our liver that are designed to store toxins we're exposed to.
Yeah.
But eventually the liver gets maxed out. It runs out of storage space, and toxins start to get other places in someone's body. So, people ask me, what is the most important organ when it comes to chronic illness? It is the liver, with the kidneys being a close second. And in terms of what body system, it would be the lymphatic system, the most important system when it comes to chronic illness. And when it comes to your glands, that's going to be your adrenal glands. Your adrenals are the most important one when it comes to chronic illness.
What about perimenopause?
Yeah, it's a good question.
We had the question on the chat.
Well, it's a very
Any
trendy
advice?
thing right now. I know it's a big thing right now.
Which I'm glad for.
Perimenopause.
That the conversation is at least up.
Yeah.
Any advice for those with perimenopause issues?
Perimenopause, just like menopause, whether it's pregnancy, whether it's your menstrual cycle, these are all time in the woman's life when there's reproductive duties. There's changes taking reproductively. When that happens, so when perimenopause or any other reproductive duty in that woman's life, the immune system deems the reproductive duties most important, and it sends the majority of its energy and reserves to deal with those reproductive duties, as it should. Obviously, life would end if women didn't have these reproductive duties. And your immune system is designed by God to send its energy and reserve. Varying levels depend on what stage you are in your menstrual cycle, what stage you are in your pregnancy, or what stage in menopause.
Yeah.
Your immune system then has to send energy and reserves, and it can no longer stay on top of underlying pathogens and toxins that are already existing in that woman's body. Men don't have to do that. Our immune systems can always stay on top of our pathogen loads, our toxin loads. So perimenopause is just how much a woman is struggling with it. It's just a sign of how much underlying troublemaker pathogens, toxins have gotten into our body, because they're all having a chance to flare up and create symptoms because the immune system's dealing with her reproductive duties. So it's just simply a sign that you need to work on getting antiviral, antibacterial. You've got to start pulling toxins, pesticides, petrochemicals, poisons out of the body. All these things are just flaring up. They peek their head out. When the immune system starts to move away, towards that reproductive duty, notice it's not as strong and as present as it was before, and right away they go in to take advantage. It's not a hormonal issue. It's not anything like that. It is a troublemaker issue in that woman's body. The immune system just can't stay on top of it. So some women breeze through, you can see some women breeze through their menstrual cycle. Not many symptoms pop up, sometimes none at all. Everything's goes smoothly. And other women in their menstrual cycle, it's a nightmare for them. They got headaches, they break out, they're fatigued, they got this and that. One woman just has a cleaner body than the others. Doesn't have the same toxin load, the same pathogen load. You could say that for pregnancies. You could say that for menopause as well.
That's true. Yeah.
All the same.
Yeah.
Doctors don't understand that. I don't know. They'll blame it on their hormones. They'll blame it on this and that. They just don't see what's going on here. Don't understand that's how the immune system functions when there's a reproductive duty in the woman's life.
That's interesting.
I know we're going to share in a little bit how people can work with you, from the eyes to the body. I would like for you to talk a little bit about, how, you address a client when they first meet you. What does that analysis look like? What do they walk away with even from when they get an analysis with you?
Well, the first thing we always do, I do a free 15 to 30 minute call with anyone. just to get them some answers, just to make them feel better about what they have going on. They could tell me what they have going on before the iridology analysis or anything. We just do a quick call, and I get them some information that can help them to feel a little bit better, let them know that they can heal, and that whatever it is they have going on, I give them, that's always where we start. After that, they have the option to do the iridology analysis and in-depth health consult, kind of a combined thing where I look at the health questionnaire, we analyze the iris, and we really sit down and we dive into that individual's health. We look at how stuff got into their body. We look at family lines. We look at different things happening. We look at their symptoms. We put everything together for them. So they have usually for the first time in their life, a real idea of how they got in the position they did. Wow. And the iris doesn't lie, symptoms don't lie. I'm a symptom guy. You tell me what you have going on. What are you experiencing? And I can tell you exactly what's causing it in that way. So getting people the right information is critical. And that happens in the iridology analysis and in-depth health consult.
Let me just interject real quick. One of the things that you told me during the pre-call, and I remember that it really, really struck me, is like many times people will come to you and they'll come to you, they'll have this whole thing and they're like, well, I don't really have that many symptoms and I don't really have that much going on. And then through the course of this particular exercise, you realize, then they're like, oh, well, yeah, my knee's kind of doing this, or I have, and I remember me speaking with you and I was like, yeah, I do have belly things like da-da-da. You can ask me a couple more questions.
Yeah, right. I remember too. You were like, I don't really have too much going on. I was like, well, I hear that all the time. Look, yes. And that's no fault of us, that's the way that's the way the medical establishment groomed us.
Yeah. Parents groomed us. Yeah. Society.
That's how they were groomed.
Tough it out.
Take your symptoms, brush them under the rug. They're normal. And so, I have clients come, people come in like, I'm in good health. I don't really have anything that bothers me. I'm healthy. By the time we're done, we've got 7 to 8 different things that this person has been dealing with. They just don't recognize them. They just deal with them and they put them in their subconscious. They brush them under the rug and they live their life dealing with these things that are all lowering their quality of life. And I say to them, could you imagine a life if you didn't have that little GI, that little bloat after you eat something, or that little bit of chronic pain you deal with in your low back, or that occasional headache you get every 2 to 3 weeks, that migraine that picks up? Like I say, that's not normal. Like we're not supposed to have that stuff going on. You're not supposed to have a sinus infection every 3-4 weeks. You're not supposed to have an allergy to ragweed. You're not supposed to feel fatigued, every other day. It's just not normal. And so people need to recognize that. Like life here is very short. God wants us to feel good. He wants us to not deal with this stuff and enjoy life.
Yes, I agree.
And we need to stop accepting a lower quality of life because that's what we've been told. That's nonsense. That's so people can make money. And we stay sick, and you deal with things and you don't think you can heal from things.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
I've had so much success from going directly to holistic, acupuncturists, energy healers. I mean, it's just been like always, I feel like I'm always guided. And one of the things I get when I would probably get a session from you coming up.
Yeah, right.
Is that I could say I'm one of those that say I've got like nothing going on, except you see, I had a natural alternative to a UTI, right? So I do occasionally get one of those kind of things, but it seems like everybody has this level of maybe they could have more energy during the day. There seems like don't you want to look at it to be more vibrant? I was doing a hot and cold plunge over the weekend and I thought, wow, I really feel great after I do this. My nervous system relaxed. I, had the best night's sleep ever. So there's clearly something going on with just my nervous system. Where do you start people when they're just like, well, I'm just stressed out. It's just my nervous system. Because clearly it's not just my nervous system.
Well, look, there's an epidemic going on right now. And the epidemic is Epstein-Barr virus.
Mhm.
You've
Epstein-Barr
talked about that a
virus.
couple times,
Yeah.
so if you want
I've
to,
actually been
I don't-
tested for that and don't have it.
I don't know what it is.
Okay,
I
well, let's
forgot
talk
or
about it.
something.
Yeah.
Epstein-Barr virus is the virus people have an active blood infection in when they get diagnosed with mononucleosis.
Mhm.
Oh,
But
okay, got it.
That is when the virus is just starting its journey through someone's body. Long story short, I can sit here and explain Epstein-Barr virus to you for the next hour. But its ultimate goal and how it works is to attack someone's neurological system. The neurotoxin that Epstein, and there's over 65 strains of Epstein-Barr virus now. These new strains are highly mutated, causing these real nasty autoimmunes, the cancers in kids and stuff. This is Epstein-Barr virus, highly mutated. But ultimately, the neurotoxin that Epstein-Barr virus creates after the virus consumes toxins in the person's body, its favorite food source is mercury. So mercury feeds the Epstein-Barr virus. The Epstein-Barr virus expels that mercury as a highly methylated poison known as a neurotoxin. These neurotoxins are highly allergic and damaging to our neurological systems.
Got it.
Everyone is walking around with inflamed, fatigued neurological systems. There's an epidemic now. People have all kinds of neurological issues. Chronic fatigue is at the top of the list. It's a neurological issue. Tics, numbness, tingles, headaches, insomnia, all these different neurological type symptoms. Lyme disease is Epstein-Barr virus. It's neurological, aches and pains and sensitivity to light and sound. This is all neurological stuff.
Wow.
This is advanced viral pathogens in the person's body that have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Just trying to live life in your body.
Yep.
And in order to live life, it has to feed. And it creates neurotoxin, which really go after people's their neurological symptoms. Ironically, I am not a fan of cold plunging for anyone with any types of neurological type things.
Maybe it wasn't that bad because it actually made me so much better.
Well, sometimes, look, if someone's not dealing with a lot of chronic illness and no real neurological issues, they can get away with doing a cold plunge, something like that. But if you have, look, the adrenal glands control the autonomic nervous system. Everyone's walking around with adrenal fatigue. It's involved in a lot of things with the neurological system. It's involved in neurotransmitter production. So everyone, and what happens in an ice plunge, when you go into an ice bath, the body can't differentiate between falling through ice into freezing cold water, where the adrenals go fight or flight. The person, and you release excessive amounts of adrenaline as a response mechanism to keep the person alive, keep them warm so they can get through that moment. The cold plunging is very hard on adrenal glands. It makes the adrenals, it signals the adrenals to release adrenaline. And in response, because it
No
thinks you're free.
wonder.
It
I
thinks
got
you're
it.
Well, that's
freezing.
why you feel so good.
I was
'cause you're
gonna say.
all these adrenals are going through your system. You're like, yes.
Here's the
You just gotta
problem, though.
burst. Yeah.
It's not it's the adrenaline surges that people
Yes,
enjoy.
Yes.
Adrenaline
That
surges
makes
can
total
be
sense.
adrenaline surges can be addictive, but adrenaline's like liquid gold. It's not supposed to be used like humans use it now. Adrenaline used to be back in the day when someone was getting, in the wood chased by a wild animal. Or like you're not supposed to be pumping out adrenaline all the time. And we live lives now that are the world's crazy. Everyone's adrenals are constantly kicking out adrenaline and cortisol, but the epinephrine is the big problem. Adrenaline is very acidic. It pickles the liver. It's corrosive. It lowers someone's immune system. Hence, I see this all the time. When someone goes through a trauma in life, they have the death of a loved one, hits them really hard, out of nowhere. The adrenals release adrenaline for weeks. They flood the body.
Yeah.
And you can always see those people end up with a new chronic illness, a new disease, a cancer diagnosis, sometimes weeks down the road, sometimes months, sometimes a year down the road. They'll come up with a new illness that they didn't have before. That's the effect of the trauma. That's the effect of the adrenaline lowering that person's immune system. Adrenaline also fuels Epstein-Barr virus. It's a viral fueler. So it's a different way to think about it, because some people, you ask a lot of people who do something like a cold plunge, they tell you they feel awful after it. you know, plenty of those people out there as well. It all depends what someone's dealing with and what the state of their adrenals are for something like
Right.
that. But
Yeah.
ultimately, everyone's got adrenal fatigue. So
Yeah, they do. I'm gonna speak for myself. I know I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so adrenal fatigue, that would be kind of a similar process to look at the different detoxification processes that one would need to go through to heal their adrenals.
absolutely.
Right.
That the adrenals are the gland I go to first.
Really?
I don't care what the thyroid looks like. I don't care what the ovaries look like. I don't care what the pituitary looks like. I go to the
Yeah.
adrenals.
Right.
Because the one weakness that I see in iridology with more people, well, I can be guaranteed to look in someone's eyes, I see more adrenal gland weakness than anything else.
Mhm.
People's adrenals are shot. And it's also not recognized when you have adrenal fatigue. You know, people don't recognize when there's there's blends of adrenaline, certain blends of adrenaline. It's not just one blend of adrenaline. There's 30 different blends almost, and special blends for special times in our life. When you have there's a special blend of adrenaline that's released when you're driving a car, when you're using the bathroom, when you're, fall into cold water. And when you have adrenal fatigue, the adrenals can't produce the correct blend of hormones at the right times. Hence, you see some of these stories where someone goes through a really traumatic, like someone walks into a bar or something, or a restaurant with a gun, and they're holding people up, and you see a guy who's completely unfazed by it, like doesn't register with them. He just like, no big deal. He's got adrenal weakness. He's got adrenal fatigue. He should have a blend of hormones being created for adrenaline that are making him respond like, okay, fight or flight, like this is a situation here. And it can go any which way. You can see that, so adrenal fatigue, they don't produce the correct blends of adrenaline in times in your life when you need them the most.
Yeah.
Right, because they're all out.
Therefore,
Unless
you don't.
person has really practiced like stoicism or something like that, and they are really attuned. That's the only thing I could think of. If somebody would respond
that's it.
in that way.
But most of them just don't have the correct blends of hormones that are being produced by the adrenals for that certain situation. So the performance is altered.
Yeah.
And you could say that you could look all over in life and see that happening with people just not responding the right way to certain situations.
I was going to say, or overly response to something.
Correct.
Right?
It could go the opposite
like
direction.
Right. With, road rage or something like that. Like, golly. My question for you is how do people start the, I'm going to say eye exam. How do they get the iris exam with you? What does that look like?
Eye exam.
Sure. So the iridology exam, I have clients all over the country, so I can do it virtually. I send people the directions on how to take an iris photo. All you need is your cell phone. You could take them in the video I have for people. You can, there's instruction on how to take an iris photo by yourself with your camera, or to have someone else help you, which is the easier way to take an iris photo. Once they get me the health questionnaire and the iris photos, I analyze them, and we get right into wherever they are. We do that analysis, and after the analysis and everything, that individual has we look at program options. They have the opportunity to work with me on a healing program. That never comes until we do the iridology analysis and consult. We always do that first.
When I was, when I was in my 20s, not that long ago, I was working for a trade show company, and one of the other trade show exhibitors, I did examine the iris, and so I stood in line, and he looked at my iris, and he took a couple of deep breaths, and he was like, "Wow." And I think the guy got worried about it, but he was like, "You've got very deep stress rings." And he said something about this comes from I want to say maybe it was my lineage. And I thought, well, that makes sense. I mean, my mom and dad they partied a lot. Let's just say that. And I wasn't raised by my parents. So, but is that similar to the type of is this a portion or similar to the type of reading that you do for the iris?
Oh, I can explain to you exactly what happened. What he saw were known as nerve rings.
And I'm like, I'm young, I shouldn't have these.
Also known as contraction furrows.
Uh-huh.
So in my line of iridology, I don't believe that comes from lineage.
Okay.
Nerve rings or contraction furrows form in the iris when someone goes through a period of really high stress or trauma. The autonomic nervous system tightens in that person, and the result is the iris fibers will buckle and create rings.
Yeah.
And I can almost tell when I'm looking at nerve rings in my client's eye, I can tell with pretty good accuracy when in their life they dealt with that trauma or period of high stress based off how far the nerve ring is from the edge of the iris to the pupil.
Fascinating.
So yes, that is known as a contraction furrow, and that they happen when someone is going through it. So I don't really believe much that lineage can be passed down through the iris that way in terms of a nerve ring. But I could be wrong. There are a couple of different types of iridology, and it is open to interpretation for some, depending on what type of iridology you do. I'm a lymphatic iridologist. The lymphatic system runs the show, is the reason why people have eye color changes and things. So I'm a lymphatic iridologist.
Interesting. Fascinating. All of it.
Yeah, this is so fascinating.
Yeah, people say like this is fascinating, like tree rings. And then there was another question, and does the iris heal as the body and soul does?
1000%.
Oh, I love that.
If you go on my Instagram, you can see before and after pictures of my clients when we took iris photos when they started, and then we took them when they were done the program, or 6 months later. Or I just had one young lady, I think it was 15 months we did. She sent me a picture 15 months after she started my program, and she stayed on the protocols after the program was over and kept living that lifestyle. And I told her when she came to me, I said, Nicole, you have blue eyes. And she said, no, I don't. I said, I got brownish, like all kinds of stuff, hazelish. I said, you got blue eyes. And you should see her eyes now 15 months later. The blue, as we cleared up her iris, we cleared up her lymphatic system and stuff, and different tissues we started to heal. Now you can see that blue eye coming through. And, she said, yeah, of course, when I was young, I had blue eyes. Eye color doesn't change on its own. It changes based off the state of that person's lymphatic system. So you can see a lot of different things, markings in the iris change as you heal. And that's what happens when you detoxify and regenerate tissue in your body. The iris will reflect by means of the autonomic nervous system. It will reflect that healing.
That's so fascinating and just so inspiring.
But
I love hearing that.
there is a question about, have you helped people with blindness?
Legal blindness.
Blindness is toxic heavy metals and Epstein-Barr virus in the eyes. I've never had I fix eyesight in people. I've never had a blind person, but I got to tell you, it's something I think that someone could heal. They would have to go to much deeper levels of detoxification. They'd have to be on kind of like level 4 of my program and do it for probably an extended period of time to start to regenerate that damaged tissue in that optic nerve and whatnot. Because all your glaucomas and all these different eye conditions and it's all just toxins and viruses love the eyes. So that is your true cause, but nothing the body can't heal. I don't think, there's nothing I think that it would be permanent. When you learn the art of regenerative detoxification, God made our bodies absolutely brilliant, designed with incredible healing mechanisms that can do unbelievable things. The problem is, no one knows how to do it. No one knows how to activate those natural healing mechanisms because no one knows how to detoxify their body properly.
I think some people might even know how to do it and then refuse the protocol to do it. As a nutritionist, I found many times I'd come to people with a diet and they would have emotional and attachments to different things, including exercises and stuff like that, that they were unwilling to do it. Do you come Do you see that in your work, or do you feel like when people come to you, they're so desperate they'll do anything?
I think both of y'all are saying true things. I think y'all
Yeah.
are saying them about two different things. But go
Well,
ahead.
look, healing's not for everybody. That's the sad truth of it. Not everyone's here to heal. I could tell you people in my own family, even with what I do for a living,
Yeah.
sometimes it's not in the cards for people for whatever reason. It's
Oh,
not their
yes.
destiny to heal.
Yeah.
And that was a hard pill that I had to swallow. When you have loved ones that are suffering and you want to see them get better, and they can get better, but it's just not, people are going to live their lives and do what they want to do.
We have free will.
Now my clients, they're very desperate, and
Yes.
they are not those people.
Yeah.
People who work with me and commit to my program, they commit their lifestyle, they make the financial commitment. They are ready to heal, and there is nothing that's going to stop them.
Yeah.
Those are the people I look
Bless
to
you.
work with. Those are my clients. Hence, you see all the great testimonials I have. These people wanted to heal, and there was nothing that was going to stop them. They just needed the right information and the right protocols and the
Yes.
right coaching, and they heal.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Very rare do I have someone comes to me who commits to me and finds they don't have what it takes.
Okay,
Very,
great.
very rare. I don't see it,
Uh-huh.
but
Fabulous.
I know
I'm
they're
glad-
out there, but they
I'm
just
glad
don't
to
work
hear
with me.
that. Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
vet my clients. There's people I won't work with. If I
Yeah,
don't think
that's
they're a
true.
good fit, if I don't think they're in a place to heal, I say, I'm probably not your guy, so
Yeah, because this is not
I
going to
don't want
be
to waste someone's time and
comfortable.
money,
Mhm.
when I don't think I can get them better because they can't do what I need them to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not a drill sergeant, everyone heals differently.
We're
I'm not
sure.
like that.
Just
But there are
kidding.
certain things that a person has to be willing to give. And look, I'm a diet guy. I'm, the right foods, herbs, and supplements, and the right combinations, and the right amounts at the right times. That's how you detoxify a body and heal.
If you want healing, you'll do it though.
Agreed.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I'm going to bring up the analysis, and we
Oh,
can
yeah,
talk
go
a little
ahead.
bit about
How
that.
to work with you.
How people can work with you.
Golly, Quentin, time has flown by.
My gosh, I feel like we could have this conversation for another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Where did it go? Here we go.
It's down there.
Thank you.
Hey, no worries.
Oops. Oh, there we go.
That's why there's two of us.
I know.
There you
So
are.
we can find things.
We make a good team.
You guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Of course, it's easier if you go to houthustle.com/live and you find Quentin's picture.
Can you?
Quentin, we talked a little bit about this, but I would love if you kind of go through so people know what to expect and they don't feel nervous or scared to, really step into it with you.
Here's what I tell someone. There's nothing I'm going to see in their iris that I don't believe they can heal, that I can teach them how to heal. Nothing. I've never looked at an eye and said, well, that's too much for me to handle. Like that person just doesn't have a chance. I've never had that happen. When you see the healing that I've seen, not just with myself, but with my clients now these past 5 years, everything is on the table. So I never want someone to be worried about what I tell them. Now, I asked someone, I said, do you want to hear everything I see? And some people say no. And I certainly respect that. If some people just don't want to know if I see something, and that's their priority, and I will respect that. I will tell you though, it's nothing to be worried about. If anything, it's absolutely fascinating. It's empowering. It gives you your answers. I tell you, the iridology, it's not, when you have imaging and blood work and symptomology, they can miss things. The iris doesn't miss anything. It's been recording everything in your body, things that imaging might not pick up, things that blood work might not pick up, things where a symptom hasn't shown itself yet or a condition. But, I'll tell you one quick story. I did a young lady's eyes last year, and she came to me, and it was kind of just doing it as to help a friend. I was out at a party or something. It was New Year's Eve. And she said, Quentin, can you take a look at my friend's eyes real quick? I said, sure. So I looked in her eyes, and her left eye, which shows the heart tissue, she had a chronic heart weakness. And I said, boy, I said, I'd rather not talk about this right now, on New Year's Eve. And I said to my friend, I was like, are you sure your friend wants to hear what I see? She said, yeah, she could handle it. So I said to her, I said, any heart disease in the family, any heart attacks in the family, just trying to be gentle with her as I tell her what I saw. She said, well, my dad and my uncle died on the same day last year of heart attacks. One was 63 and one was 65. And she said, but she said, doctors told me my heart's fine. I went and had it checked out. They said, everything's good. I said, honey, your heart's not fine. You've got a chronic heart weakness here. We need to go in and detoxify and regenerate this heart tissue. And that's precisely what we did. And we took heart disease and heart attack off the table for her simply because she had an iridology analysis when medical science was telling her there was no problem.
Well,
her iris had a completely different story.
To add to this energy group, that heart weakness could have also been caused from the deaths, and that started it as well. I mean, it works from the physical and the energy and everything. And I just feel like for this group, it's really important for us to
point that out
acknowledge that as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, look, she already had the troublemaker, and look, so goes the liver, so goes the heart. Most people don't recognize that. The liver is critical, but she clearly had the necessary pathogens and toxins in the heart tissue and things blood that wasn't clean enough coming up to the heart to develop a heart weakness like that. But then she gets hit with news like that, and boom, here comes the adrenaline, acidic, corrosive, suppresses the immune system, allows those underlying troublemakers in the heart tissue to proliferate even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything is related in that way when it comes to trauma and stress and the energy aspect of it. Everything is mixed in there.
Absolutely. Wow. So many comments here. It's like people saying, I have to do this. I want to do this. I want to know once and for all. Different people talking about they're fascinating. I mean,
It's something that everyone should have done. I tell you, every human would benefit from an iridology analysis. It gives you the upper hand.
I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And when we just knew we were talking to you, and I saw that you were offering a discounted session, I was like, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I
'Cause
just
I'm
decided right now I am too. Yes.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Look,
because what we're not getting any younger, and this might give us information so that we could actually feel younger.
And information that we would not normally get anywhere else.
Plus, in our work, we also want to be clear to open our channel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
From our woo standpoint.
Yes, I agree. I was thinking there.
So
I was going there.
Here's what iridology does. Obviously, it can help someone to heal from something quicker, more efficiently. It can prevent future illness and extend someone's life. That is the other great part about it. Like if you're looking to maximize your health and live long and avoid future illness, you want an iridology analysis. Like it gives you the upper hand. God created our bodies, our irises this way. God knew that we would need iridology when the world became very chronically ill, and those days are upon us now.
Yeah.
He gave us a special tool in our own body that is reflecting what's happening internally.
I know. Isn't that cool?
I mean,
That's
can you wrap your
wild.
head? Can you wrap your head around that? Like that's how brilliant our God was in doing that. That He wanted to give us any help that we could get.
Yeah.
So it's just a fascinating technique, and it's one that anyone would absolutely benefit from. Whether or not they wanted to work with me after the iridology analysis and consult, I don't care. I just want people to have the right information and to know what's happening in their body, so that empowers them to be able to heal. Maybe if it's not their time to heal, maybe in the future it will be.
Yes.
But it gives them the right information, and you can't heal in this world without the right information. You have to know what's causing what and what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I feel like this was just such an enlightening conversation. And I do feel like this is, a way for us to even just, live, and have our brains working better, because I know that brain fog is one of your biggest and best things. So
Toxic heavy metals in the brain, along with some viral neurotoxins and inflaming certain parts of brain tissue.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Any last words?
No, just look, here's what I tell people, if you're struggling with chronic illness, if you're struggling with things that are lowering your quality of life, I just want you to know you can absolutely heal. I don't care what you've been told. I don't care what your doctors are saying. I don't care what your family's telling you. I don't care how long you've had it, how long you've been struggling. You get the right information, you get the right protocols, and your body will start to heal, and you get your quality of life back.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
We did have one tiny itty bitty question.
Oh, it's a big
Victoria asked if you could do animal eyes.
Iridology actually began with an owl.
Oh, interesting.
I believe it was in, I want to say Czechoslovakia or somewhere, where a young guy actually had an injured owl that broke its leg. And he noticed, as he had the owl with a broken leg, he noticed at 6 o'clock in the left iris, I think it was the left leg, in the left iris of that owl, there was a big dark lesion. We know it as a lacuna in iridology at 6 o'clock, which shows the leg of humans. It's the thigh, knee, ankle. At 6 o'clock, right below your pupil in each iris, shows your right and left leg.
Wow.
He noticed a lacuna in the owl's eye. So he bandaged up the owl and he started to heal the owl's leg. And over the course of a couple months, he noticed that marking in the iris started to go away.
Fascinating.
That's the true origins of iridology. So it actually started. Now, I don't know, obviously, the inner structure of an animal is different than a human, and it's not been studied like the human iris and
Yes.
iridology. So,
Yes.
but yeah, absolutely, an animal's eye would show. I'm not equipped to read an eye that way, though.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
I don't think anybody is. If they're telling you they are, that they're lying.
So if I have a hip injury, would that show up in my eye, and would there be protocol
Oh, for
around
sure.
that? Okay.
Any damage to tissue, I see old injuries in people all the time.
This is so
cool.
freaking
Oh my gosh, so exciting. Wow.
I had a guy, it was very hard to see. I had a guy, he had an incredible amount of weakness in his left arm area. I couldn't tell if it was left arm, elbow, wrist area, but I'm looking at his left iris and seeing where the left arm shows up in it. And it was a chronic to a degenerative weakness. There's levels of weakness in our tissue.
Sure.
So I'm looking at it and I said to him, I said, man, I'd never seen this really in someone. I said, what's going on with your left arm? I said, is it left elbow, left wrist? I can't really tell. And he was sitting with his girlfriend. They looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
And he said, last year, I got in a terrible motorcycle accident and I have 6 bolts in my left forearm.
Oh boy.
So the damage to the tissue was relayed through the autonomic nervous system and put into his eye.
Wow.
It recorded that injury. So I can see, when women have C-sections or any, something like that.
Yes.
In the skin area, you can see where the damage to tissue was when they made the incision, and that whole area that will be reflected in the iris as well.
That's fascinating. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's nothing that happens to the body internally that the eye doesn't record.
Right. Now,
That's-
with
that's
a
the way we are
scar like
designed.
that, is there a protocol or healing around it? And that'll be the
For-
last question, I promise.
For healing like a hip or a left
Like
arm,
a
that?
scar, like a C-section scar or something.
Oh, there's so much we could do for the skin. Absolutely. I love repairing and regenerating skin in people. Our skin takes a beating in life, whether it's from different things we're exposed to. And
I heard anti-aging, ladies.
That's all the things that went through our heads, anti-aging.
By the way, you can read every testimonial. You'll see every person say, I have a glow now. My skin looks
Yes,
better. I
you
look more
do.
healthy. That how it all lies within someone's liver, by the way.
Of
The liver
course, of
the liver
course.
holds the key to aging and anti-aging, therefore. But yes, we do things, you can only fix skin from the inside.
Yes.
I'm a true believer in that. You have to go internally to repair. People do all these different, I don't put nothing on my body, by the way. These people put your lotions and your creams and this and that and this regenerative type space are, I'm out on all that. I'm out on any way that puts more toxins into the body.
Yeah.
I fix things internally. Like you
I
can
love
fix,
it.
you can go underneath that dermis, and that there's that liver skin connection.
Yes.
So that's where I go when I'm fixing skin.
Gosh, you could probably
Wow.
even tell who's had Botox.
Yeah.
All right, I'm stopping.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
It was so great, Quentin, to meet you and really have an
Likewise.
introduction to this in this way. This is a very exciting information. And wow, I really think a lot of people are going to say yes to this.
From the chat, lots of all in. I'm fascinated. Definitely want to work with him. So yeah.
Sure. And
Thank
anyone
you.
can go to my Instagram and see all the testimonials there.
Yeah.
It's at Green Health and Wellness, and my website now I've got up and running, greenhealthandwellness.com. But certainly everyone knows to go through the iridology analysis through you guys there at Hot Hustle, and we'll get them that discount, and
Beautiful.
I'll check their eyes out for them, and we'll see what's happening.
Thank you so much. Oh my
All right.
goodness.
Thank you.
you.
Big hugs to you. Thank you. Thank you. God,
Thank you so much.
Wow,
It was
this day
a
went
pleasure.
so fast.
amazing call.
That
Everybody
was
is
so
saying.
cool.
Yeah.
It's funny, we're all in this like play and this channeling and this woo and in a way, and then this is like a totally different conversation.
And I love it. And this is
but
the
it
reason
just
why.
is like, well, we're talking about embodiment during the series.
Yes.
It's just
Ready?
yeah. Great.
Yeah,
All right.
well, it was a pleasure, girls. I got to
Thank
run.
you.
I'm actually in South Dakota right now, hiking Badlands and the Black Hills. So I'm gonna go out for some hiking now.
Oh,
All right,
enjoy. Have a
great
great
time.
one.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
That's so cool.
All right, you guys, join us tomorrow. We have 3 more speakers, same time, same place. Thank you guys so much for your comments, your presence. What a fun and amazing day.
Do us a favor. If
Mhm.
you are enjoying this, please leave us a comment like on YouTube or somewhere
please.
on so you could do it How Hustle. So that's How Hustle just by searching How Hustle on YouTube on our channel. It just lets the algorithm know that we would want to see
Yeah.
more of this kind of stuff as
Or-
opposed to the doom scrolling things that are available or on
If you're really
Instagram.
having shifts too.
Yeah, yes, I want to know. And like I said, I personally will go in and respond to every single comment. So if you're feeling something or something came up, I want to know about it. Let's hear about it. Or if you've got any suggestions for additional speakers, we want to hear about that too.
Please.
And Instagram. So if you make a comment on any one of those 2 places, you will also be put into a drawing. I just decided this. And I will do a
Love
free,
that.
a complimentary reading. They are worth over $444. So I will do the one reading with you for someone that we draw from the people that make a comment. Okay. So please, I just want some interaction. I want to know about
Love
you.
that.
And please join us tomorrow. We have Lindsay Robinson. We
Who
have
is a
us.
clinical hypnotherapist. That means she's been through the entire schooling
Yeah,
system
excited.
to learn hypnotherapy. She's the real deal when it comes. I mean, we're the real deal when it
Of
comes
course.
to hypnotherapy, but she is too. She's pretty extraordinary. She has a different viewpoint and way to communicate it.
Yeah, and then we will be on next. So we'll be talking all about our live event. We'll be talking about
How to
our
join
inner circle. Yay. And then Phyllis Douglas. Oh my gosh, you
Oh.
haven't experienced Phyllis. It's going to be phenomenal. It's all about sound, how we were talking about today.
Mhm.
And she brings that into,
Light
yeah.
language.
So it's fascinating, y'all. So Phyllis is amazing, Tiffany said.
Yeah.
We have another amazing day scheduled
Yeah.
for y'all tomorrow. So
Every single day is amazing if you've looked at the lineup. And then on Thursday, I'll be here alone, but we've got some of our OG faves with Suzanne Alexandria and Karen
Karen
Tobiasen. And then on Friday, we're bringing my new dragon friend, Adam Apollo, who has literally had a past life and saw himself come out of an egg.
wow.
So he's super fascinating, has a brand new book out, and I'm really personally excited to have another conversation with him, especially live, and have you guys interact and ask questions too, because you can really go anywhere with him.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
a lot of our speakers, you can, to be honest.
And then we round out with Aurora Luna Star, and then of course Dragon Energy with Teresa Wynn. And so it'd be super fun. Again, join us for all of it.
Yep. And if you ever need anything, you can reply to the emails and ask us questions if you're looking for something or you think we said something and where is it. But most everything is on the live page, howhustle.com/live.
Live, and to get signed up to get the speaker gifts and all of the fun stuff, plus any emails, be sure to join us on the opt-in page. So that's howhustle.com/summit.
Summit.
Summit.
The big, giant, mystical Christmas tree.
Have a good one. We're How
Have
Hustle
some-
reminding you to take a little time to enjoy the woo.